last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You on my frequency? Are you on my frequency? You want to ruin his life. You want to ruin his life.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Yes, sir.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Yes, sir, Bob.
Really the most.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Trying to make a way in the game of life.
The South Side, baby.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Big show tonight.
Back against the
Big
wall.
show tonight.
Never tried to do it all.
You're saving lives tonight. Self love. Vision. I'm just a kid from Chicago. Ah. I'm just a kid from Chicago. South Side, that is. Yeah, we made it. Yes, sir. We made it. Back to another show. And welcome to Chi-Town's very own, the Self Love Show, where our motto is, on earth as it is in heaven, and as above, so below. We can be found exclusively right here on YouTube's channel, This Ain't That Network. And as we say, TATN. Big ups to Scooter Chose. Big ups for this kid from Chicago. I'm just a kid from Chicago. We're going to sit with Scooter Chose in the near future. It is on the schedule. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is your co-host, Nine Mills, also known as Self. And I'm just a kid from Chicago. What down, Chi-Town? What down, what down, what down, what down? Today is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. And I'd love to acknowledge that you could be any place in this vast, magnanimous universe. And thankfully, we all chose to be here together. Here together. What down, what down, what down, Tory Wordsmith?
What down?
What you manifesting today, bruh?
Love. Love, Self. What you manifesting?
Love, G. Nothing but pure, magnanimous love. What's been going on the South Side today, bruh?
Today, fixed my garage. That snow, it did some damage, baby. It weighed it down and moved some wood in places it shouldn't be. And, you know, the rotted wood, that is.
Yes, sir.
And me and Jack got out there and got her done.
Man, so y'all had to climb on top of it or what?
No, a piece of wood that rotted, so everything had shifted down. So we got the car jack, put a piece of wood up under it, and jacked it back in place, and took the rotted wood out and replaced it.
So it was wood rot essentially.
Yeah, that's essentially. But but the weight of the snow is what really made it.
Well, yeah, it exacerbated it all.
Yeah, collapsed it out there. It collapsed it out there.
Yeah, man, that's a big business this winter. I was looking at it on the news. They were saying how a lot of roofs were collapsing.
Man, I'm very, very fortunate because my house flat like a mug, and I didn't get no water or anything. Just in the corner of the garage, I had no idea. My neighbor told me I couldn't even get to it when it was so much snow.
Oh, your neighbor told you? Oh, your neighbor saw it back there.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. My neighbor was like, yeah, he told Jack, and Jack was like, yeah, Mr. Jones said something. I said, what? Okay, and I went back there. I believe I said something on the show that day, whatever day that was.
Yeah. But how was the weather like, bro?
Oh man, it's pretty beautiful now. I mean, for this time of year, 60s. It was, early. I mean, lower 60s.
Man, that's what's up. And to the Self Love Nation, today we're gonna go ahead and continue our big sugar versus big tobacco. This is the Big Health series that we run here on the Self Love Show. So we're working diligently to bring the receipts and the information. So today we're asking the central question: what's worse on the urban community, meaning us? Has it been big tobacco or has it been big sugar? And we'll take that all the way back to when we were minding our own business in our nations, wherever we were brought from in chattel slavery, or if we were here, wherever we were, people of color, the Moors on this earth. What's been worse for us since that point? So we will give you a breakdown. We're going to go over history and the origins of big sugar and big tobacco. Who owns it? Who started it? What diabolical human being would be behind something like this? Is it human? We're going to cover the effects on the body and the mind. We're going to go over associated animal testing. We're going to go through how do both of these agents, I should say, how do they compare to cocaine and heroin addiction? Heroin, as we say in the hood. What is doing more damage to our community? That's the question. We're also going to start out with, the new feature on the Tuesday shows. It's Nine's Top 9 Unknown Facts. So we're going to do Nine's Top 9 Unknown Facts about big tobacco and the big sugar booger. Come on over here. Come over here. Happy birthday, June G. Eat that. And strategies to kick both habits. So that's what we got for the Self Love Nation here today. Self love, and that's what we're serving up.
No doubt. Big show.
Yeah, big sugar.
And while we laugh, and like, share, subscribe, thumbs up.
Absolutely.
We are growing this organically, and we need your help. I need you people. Get people in here. We need to grow this nation. We're doing it organically. Ain't no bots. Ain't no fake views. None of that. The Self Love Show quote of the day: the sun does not forget a village just because it is small. The sun does not forget a village just because it's small. It's an African proverb. So we got to have a little housekeeping, as y'all know. After that, got 2 important videos that you need to pay close attention to. We are growing our nation organically, and we need your help.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be cleared and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child. For said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Man. If you guys missed the regular show, it's going to be an annual thing moving forward.
Man.
The regulator reunion, the fool, the saddle up, the mount up, the yeehaw. You gotta be handy with them paws. You gotta be handy. You can't be illiterate. Illiterate coming around these regulators. You gotta be able to read and throw them paws.
Man, most definitely.
Wow.
It was so magnanimous that we didn't even end the show. We just had to stop the stream, and we kept the show going. If y'all didn't know, we just kept going on the Zoom. We ended the stream.
Yeah, and if you watch it, type in the comments after when you watch it, right? Self, who you think passed out and in what order? Yeah, we had some passage outage, and Self's right. I mean, it went on probably a total of 4 more. It was a 4 or 5 hour stream, and then it went on for another 4 hours after that.
Man, it was truly a reunion. Boy, we discussed and talked about so much, man. It was incredible.
Facts. And for the regulars who weren't there, we really missed you. And for the ones that couldn't have been there, we felt you.
Man, absolutely. It was tremendous as always, expansive. And even though we were just frolicking and talking, we still had a great build.
Man, absolutely. Self-love, absolutely. And big ups, in the chat. Toy Boy, big ups. He said, what's the show about? Yes, sir. What's the show about? So then we went through that. So big ups. And also Ace says Big Tobacco owes reparations.
No
They
doubt.
pay them to some states to kill our communities. It's from Ace.
No doubt, Ace. Ace was big part of the regulators reunion. It was magnanimous.
Man, did Ace pass out? I mean, that's one of the questions. We're not saying he was, one of the guys who may or may not have passed out. We're not saying he was maybe the first one, but did he? Was he the first casualty? Was Ace a casualty? Who knows? You'll know if you watch that video. The Regulator Show. Hey, bro, man, did you hear about the brother in Oklahoma City? He's in the county jail there. Entrepreneur, businessman. Appears to be a silverback family man from what I can understand. And I guess there was someone trespassing on his property and trying to enter his property. It was his business property. Well, we got to tape Self Love. But did you hear anything about that in Oklahoma City?
Nah, you know me, I stay unplugged for the most part.
Facts, and it's probably a great idea that you do, bro. Man, it's probably a great idea that you do.
We must band together.
Raising their children and running their business.
And right now, I know that he's suffering to know that we're just out here alone.
Late last year, they were hit with more bad news. The DA amended Bratcher's charge to first-degree murder, a move his family doesn't understand.
I want, to say, where's the justice in little Bratcher?
Little
At
Nick's
the end of the day, he was
mom
at his place of business,
with her now,
minding his own business.
Now they prepare to go to trial for a shooting Bratcher's attorney.
The riot in the county jail right now. Where he is.
That he comes home to us. Only then will justice be served.
Bratcher was out on bond. The Oklahoma County DA filed a second-degree murder charge. Police arrested him at home. Officers
he came and got
escorted
himself.
his relatives, wife, and children out at gunpoint.
And you watch how they came and got them white boys.
You know, they bring him through their lawyers and all that.
Yeah. They didn't let him talk to his family before they took him in.
It's not white
Did he just say
flesh
his mom just died yesterday?
Yes.
or black flesh. The real evil
Saw his
in
kids, all them
America
kids that came to his house
is
like
the
that, man.
idea
That's
that
bogus.
undergirds.
Man. Wow.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
never ceased to amaze me, man. The tyranny that these people
Now let me say
inflict
this.
upon us.
As you know me, I'm always 100. Me. Everybody's not me. I don't shoot through the door. However, I'm not him and Free LaRue.
Right.
They said he had, product that was valued up to $4 million. So who knows what was going on? Who knows who that was that came through his fence? Who knows what types of robberies and threats and who knows, bro?
I mean,
you
ain't
know what I
once he comes past the fence,
correct.
he's on the property.
The only reason he couldn't get the Castle Doctrine is because he was in the act of committing a felony. But was he? I mean, he wasn't
Crazy,
selling marijuana at that moment. He was just storing it. Like the committing of the felony would have been if he would have said, this guy was coming over to buy all this for me. You know what I mean? And it went bad and we started shooting at each other.
Right. And he didn't have a license to grow, but
That's the felony that they're saying that now bro, what I didn't have in there is they ended up charging him with murder 1.
Yeah, I heard that. I wonder how they got to that.
How
he planned for the guy to climb the fence and come in there and and try to come through the door.
A lot about the victim. You know what I mean? Who's the victim?
Man, this is crazy.
Right, exactly. Did he plan? I mean, so do they have information? Because for murder 1 would be like Self Love, that's you at the spot, and you like, Mills, come on over, and you know what I mean? And man, and you cut a hole in the gate. You know what I mean? You cut the hole, but I came in through a regular way. You know what I'm saying? And then you staged it all and then shot me when I got to the door. That's the only way they can get murder 1 from that.
Even in the video, I mean, they said that they had charged him with murder 1. They never said why, but they was like murder 2. I mean, I could see that charge for just shooting through the door. I mean, not. I don't think it's proper in this case, but I could see that, but not no murder 1. That's freaking ridiculous.
Well, I can't even see 2. I can see reckless endangerment, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
you know, you know what I mean? I can't in there. I think it's at by an overcharge and you know, I don't like to make it a racial issue, but I feel in my
Yeah,
hearts and hearts if he was
it is.
if he was a handsome, blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid in some sort of alt-right area, and the same scenario happened, he wouldn't be sitting in that jail right now.
And if he is in the jail for any amount of time, his lawyer would have been able to turn him over. He'd have, you know, they'd been able to turn himself in. They wouldn't go and traumatize his children
Correct.
and arrest him like
Correct.
that.
And then the bond is set where they can get out, and they have a nation of people, whether it's Triple K or wherever the hell it is. Instead of piling on, you know, they go out and bail those people out of jail, and they don't just say, "Oh, it's terrible." You know what I mean? They have funds and stuff put together, and when you know big society goes out there and you know does something that they don't agree with, they have money that's put out there, and they come out there and they say, "What? Yeah, we're gonna free LaRue."
Period.
And we're gonna get LaRue a fancy attorney. You know, that's the types of things they do. But hey, you know, big ups, y'all be strong out there, you know, and to his family, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I see, tyrannical.
Yeah, changing everything around, changing the complete narrative from self-defense to murder one.
Facts. Omni Overseer says one love, self love. Yo, nope. Cortez Scott said that is how they tax you through a license, correct? Yep. So yep, how they tax and track. That's correct. But in that thing, one thing I wanted to point out, Self, it wasn't like he was just super bogus. He had a license. Yeah, it was a technicality. That's on top of it all. It wasn't like he never had a license and he was never legitimate and he was just completely bogus. It was, you know, maybe some, I don't know. I don't know the details of that, but it expired. It was one of those type things, bro.
Oh my.
So this is somebody who went through the process, who was trained, who, you know what I mean? And yet he sits in a county jail where I think yesterday they were having some sort of riot because of guard treatment. And it looked like the inmates were taking over.
Man. So
yeah, so you remember Little
had
Nick?
A license, and during COVID it expired, and this is what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know all the details, but yes, it was something in the article, in the news thing when I listened to it. They even made it a point to say, but he had a license, you know, yeah. So it wasn't like he was just Pookie. Wasn't like he was Pookie and the guys, you know what I mean? But that's how they're treating him, like Pookie and the guys.
Man.
Even if he was Pookie and the guys, you know.
Murder one for this is, you know.
Murder one, bro? That's heavy. Ooh, it's heavy-handed.
Extremely. That's not getting taken to Burger King before taken to the station.
Right. See how they came with all that fear, how they came and got them all amped up. This guy didn't go out and shoot somebody. He was at his place of business. Someone cut through a fence. He doesn't know why this person is cutting through that fence.
Exactly.
So you got
what he's gonna do, you know.
So you got to be judged by 12. That's the police, or judged by 12. That's the jury, or carried by 6.
Yeah, it's.
But you know me, so me personally, I wouldn't have shot through the door. But he said he was doing it as a warning shot.
Right.
You know, he didn't know dude was crouched in front of the door like that.
Right.
And then, you know, he did apologize. I mean, he said, you know, if he had to do it all over again and he feels bad and things of that nature. You never know what's going on both sides of the door. And I think there's some sort of, you know, African parable there somewhere.
Gotta be.
Man. Hey, but bro, like, share, subscribe, and enough of this, you know, the appetizers, bro, huh?
Yep. Quench the self-love nation's thirst.
Man, so we got a nice show set up, and the first thing Self Love and I are going to get into is just a quick SuGar short history that we did a little research on, as promised, and then later on in the show we're going to go over a Big Tobacco short history, and I tell you what. Self Love and I, every show we do, We absolutely learned something.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Without question.
Absolutely. So what we're doing, we're starting out with Big Sugar, right? So
yeah, Sugar Short History. And while he's getting that together, like, share, subscribe, far and wide. Let's go. Love
here we
y'all.
go.
Thank you for your support.
And I reckon to say I love y'all more.
TATN.
Hey, all right, so we got the short history, Big Sugar, is presented by TATN, as Self Love said. So Big Sugar, as far as we can tell, it goes back circa 8,000 BCE, somewhere in New Guinea. Okay. They, like many so-called indigenous people, ate the sugarcane raw. Put it right out of the ground, chewed on it, grinded it in their teethus, and ate it raw. It moved from there to Southeast Asia and then southern China and then India. Right there, when they got to India, that's where they discovered, I don't believe they discovered shit, excuse my language, but that's where they began to crystallize the sugarcane juice. So that's when they really started to manufacture it, and let it crystallize and process it into that little powder and whatnot. It became a rare and expensive spice in the Middle Ages. And that's when the Neanderthals, and they admit themselves that they were in the Dark Ages, and kings and queens had, rats in the hair and they didn't bathe for months. So during this time, when all those plagues were out because nobody was washing their ass. I don't know if we can say wash your ass on YouTube, but they'll send me a little ding and I'll send them a little dong. But back to the Middle Ages, I feel like I'm digressing. So now, once it got over to the pink people in the Middle Ages, it became a rare and expensive spice. And spice, huh? Spice. That's like student athlete stuff, instead of slaves. I guess you can call, any drug a spice if that's what you want to do. So in 13th century, Cyprus, Sicily, Cabal? No. They became an important center of sugar production. So in 1450, that's when large-scale sugarcane production started to pick up, and that became controlled by the Portuguese on the Atlantic island of Madeira. Refinement started. They were manufacturing sugar. The people realized that Brazil had the optimum conditions. So what they do? They started importing slaves. That's right. Slavery from Big Sugar. Yeah, I said it. Big Sugar is linked to slavery. They discovered the reason they pursued it as a business is because they, quote, end quote, discovered that nobody needed sugar, but everybody craved it. Yeah, that's a spice, huh? That's a spice. Now, from 1501 to 1867, it's estimated that 13 million humans were shipped from the Africas throughout the Americas. There was a 25% mortality rate during this inhumane passage. It's estimated by the Pinky that 1 to 2 million dead were cast out into sea, overboard, the dead bodies. 1907, Domino, MF, Domino. They produced 97, by then they produced 97% of United States sugar.
Wow.
CH formed around the same time to manufacture the sugar cane that was being grown in Hawaii, and they manufactured it in California and it got on the West Coast. Kind of find out it's all one big company. Spice pushers.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, but I digress. My fault. I jumped way too fast. So Copper, brass, rum, tobacco, and guns were traded with African nations. So we're back into that, back into Brazil. So how they got in Africa, copper, brass, rum, cloth, tobacco, and guns were traded with African nations for the labor. Barbados, St. Domingue, and Jamaica slaves were Great Britain were profiting off of them. That created markets for the rum, molasses, and more. So all of this is just profited off of the backs of sugar, which is off of the backs of big slavery. 1807, the great Thomas Jefferson, who had a lot of mulatto kids, lots of mulatto kids. We got TATN history coming up. They're going to be covering such topics, but lots of mulatto kids. He signed a bill prohibiting the import of slaves. Oh, what a great man. Shortly thereafter, Britain abolished quote unquote slavery. But the U.S. began to import people from India and China as indentured servants to continue on producing the sugar. 1801, a guy named Fran Carl Archer discovered how to extract sugar from beets. And black people, we're not talking about Dre beats, and we're not talking about hip hop beats. We're talking about the vegetable beets, making Europe able to deliver cheap sugar to the masses. And so that made the Americans get nervous, and they started the ASRC, which is the American Sugar Refining Company, which became a monopoly, and they were able to fix the prices. ASRC, they formed the Domino Sugar brand, same people, in 1900. And these are the same people of CNH. You know, we want to follow the money, and these corporations are real people, and we want to follow the people. We want to follow the people that are getting the money. So now we're going to move. Yes, sir. And now we're going to move quickly as I wrap up to 1942, because I already told you guys how CNH formed. In 1942, the American Medical Association finally says to limit sugar consumption. In 1966, U.S. doctors begin to correlate sugar with diabetes. And Self, you probably remember the term. They used to call it sugar diabetes.
Yeah.
You remember
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
On Good Times, Michael, militant midget, used to be talking about, and they got sugar diabetes. And if you keep eating these donuts, and why they got all this in the black neighborhoods, and nobody was ever listening to Mike.
There was some people in my family that had the sugar diabetes.
Remember that? It was sugar diabetes.
Yeah.
And then Big Sugar, controls the narrative, and it just became diabetes all of a sudden. Yeah. Oh, and then lastly, Self, in 1980, here's the trickery. 1980, the FDA, and these are the same people who we listen to now, tells us take this and do that, and this is safe and this isn't. They worked with Big Sugar, allegedly, to go on a campaign, with big, what's the name of that? Harvard, what do you call those? The Ivy Leagues, to go on a campaign with this scientists. These weren't pookies. These weren't people on the street. These weren't people pushing drugs on a corner. Okay, these are the people in the suits using the nice words with the college degrees, the blood suckers. All right. So they went on a big campaign blaming natural beef, okay, for everything that sugar was creating. And that, in fact, happened in 1980, Self Love. And there's your short history.
Wow.
Big sugar.
Crapulous behavior. Man, it just never, this country grew to the level it is at strictly off the backs of us. And they're still living off the backs of us, which is asinine now, I'm standing up straight. Get the fuck off my back. Can we say get the fuck off my back? I'm not sure, but I'm going to say it anyway.
You can say it. And once, but here's how diabolical they are. You get the strength now to do the push-up with somebody on your back. They'll throw 2 people on your back.
Yeah.
No problem. You max that out. Now it's 3 people. Now it's people from this country and that country and this country. I can go on a rant about a conversation I had today.
Man.
You know, but that's we'll save that for another day. They're not here for another rant. You know,
Another show.
yes, the producers. Yes, definitely another show. The producers have been up our butt about trying to keep to some sort of a timeline here. Now, A said Great Britain still profits off their spice. Yeah, these student athletes.
Yeah.
And their uses in their colonies.
Yeah.
What is he suggesting that?
That they
It's
are
50 colonies? Is that what he's suggesting?
He might be talking about Canada out there.
I think he's talking about the United States. I'll tell you what, definitely those first 13 are definitely still beholden to Great Britain. I don't know so much about on the West Coast.
No,
but
the whole thing is actually
that's what I'm asking.
Owns a whole lot of land that they're paid high subsidies to not grow a goddamn thing on it.
Yes.
So they own all this land and then they're being paid to not do anything with it.
Yes. Well, that's like the U.S. under Carter, Democrat. You know, put the high taxes on the embargoes of the imported sugar so that big KKK and the sugar here can, you know, produce all this corn and start making all this high corn fructose and our corn sugar.
Oh, man. That's the death of us too, real.
Yeah, that was Carter.
Yeah, everybody doesn't understand that out there.
He's a Nobel Peace Prize.
He's a farmer.
He's a great man. Jimmy Carter. And black people, I'm sorry. We're gonna start losing you guys. We know you guys are slaves to the Democratic Party, and I know right now your little tentacles are going up, you know, and you think, oh, he's a Republican. But we're gonna start shaking you guys out of that shit.
Yeah, because we're not that. This ain't that. So just because we're talking about the issues and problems with the group that most of us deal with does not mean we are endorsing the other group. Let's get that perfectly clear. We need that to be completely understood.
Our function is to regulate white supremacy, yes?
Period.
Now, Self, if you went to Harold's Chicken, not far from your house, KKK was there, and they were there in hoods, serving a chicken, you know what I mean? Right? Right? You see where I'm going with this? Thought experiment?
I had to find some rails to get my chicken.
Yes.
It's pretty simple to me. I mean, doesn't take a genius for that.
And it doesn't matter that they're selling Harold's Chicken.
Man.
And it doesn't matter that they're standing in your neighborhood.
They don't have the real recipe.
Right. Exactly. They don't have the real recipe.
Grease. They using old grease. They, it ain't nothing good about what they doing. It's a rundown business if they have it.
Absolutely.
And that thought experiment goes right on up to where we're talking about out there. These parties out there.
It's okay, man, if we all duped by the Democratic Party and if they're no longer serving us. That's okay. We can do it, people. We can get their penises out our mouths.
We have to.
They don't own us. We don't owe them crap.
Man, we done far more than anything paid our debt to this country. It shouldn't still be paying.
Man. But I said I wasn't going to go on a rant on that.
They need to go on ahead and bust, cut the crap and cut the check, because, you know what I mean? Period.
Bottom line, man. Bottom line. And I tell you what, a lot of us be riding off into the sunset. It'll be a lot of people packing up, moving here, moving to that place, moving here.
Yeah. Where it's less tyrannical.
Yeah. Yeah. You got that money, and I might want to move to a third world nation and just pay off who's ever in charge. You take $100,000 of this $500,000 and, this should give me 20 years of complete security. You know what I mean? Until another cartel takes over.
Something out there.
I mean, hell, we're dealing with the same tyranny with 12 over here. So, but you guys make sure you, like, share, and subscribe. We're going to go into production. We're going to go into the next video where they actually did some tests on rats. And the rats were given a choice between it, like cocaine, and sugar. I've quit sugar, so, and it's always brought me right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't realize, man, that it's in the flour, it's in the bread, it's in everything, the pizza sauce. You'll be quitting sugar, right? And I know you've done it. You'll be eating something like, this tastes great. This is the best frozen pizza I've ever tasted. You know,
look at the label.
Sugar. The sugar is in the crust. It's in the sauce.
It's in everything, and it's worse than just sugar. It's that high fructose corn syrup, which is, it's that's sugar is horrible as it is, but
somehow that's cheaper to produce than sugar.
They're subsidizing corn. You know what I mean?
Yes,
that's what corn costs less than it takes to produce it. So they're growing all this corn. I don't know why they feed everything corn.
Well, you do know why, because you were telling me years ago there was something funny about corn. You were like, man, you need to stop eating all that corn, and I'm gonna stop. Do you remember what that was about? I know it was pre-accident, but it made me look at corn in a different way.
Well, part of it is my research shows that it is harmful to the human vehicle, and therefore it is produced for some other reason, and it's not for humans. I think they are terraforming the planet in some way, shape, or form to make it more palatable for them. I think that's why they are growing all the corn.
They're sweetening us with the sugar,
man.
And I think when they bury us, they eating us or something. They probably got an agreement. You know what I mean? Just take them when they're dead, and they sweeten us up, change our DNA, and that's the agreement.
Yeah, they take people every day though. And people who disappear every single day, never to be seen again. And it's a crazy number. You wouldn't believe it. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, you go ahead and look that up. I'm gonna jump up through the chat while you're doing that. Cortez says, when will we learn? That was You Dance Radio. DJ Big Will, he's gonna do our house music channel on this station, and big ups. That boy is a master of his craft, bro.
Yes, he is,
man. Hey, he's come a long way. Will always was coach. You know, they think they funny about their house music stuff. They don't realize that I was always funny about that shit because I was around it my whole life. You know, you couldn't fool me, but you couldn't fool me with that bullshit. So big up DJ Big Will. You truly mastered your craft. Cortez, always more to the story. Yes, there is, Brother Scott. Always more, man, always more. And then A says, Great Britain still profits up. Oh, we covered that. I'm the overseer, power to the people. I'm the overseer says Silverdale. Love it.
Yes.
Yes, we're gonna put that right in the bylaws once we get in control. Oh, that is dope. Wow.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that's why he's Jimmy what? That's right, he's Jimi Hendrix, the jeweler. Yes. Yeah, he drops jewels like that, you know. Yeah, he sits in that dark corner of his spot in his man cave, you know, with all the lights off and contemplates. Big Creamer Jr. says, man, be telling my people to keep they shorties away from refined sugar and salt. Man. Yes.
As long as possible. He's right.
Yep. As long as possible, bro.
Hey, no, 600,000 persons go missing in the United States every year.
Get out of here, bro.
I just did a simple Google search of how
out of here, man.
People disappear every year.
Get out of here, bro.
600,000 every year. 600,000.
Now you got a calculator on there. Do that and divide that by 365 days, will you?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. And while he's doing that, you guys make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this link, get them in here. We're gonna keep providing information. And I got a question for the chat because we're going to summarize this at the end. What do you think is more deleterious to our urban community? If you could type in the chat in the comments, do you think it's been what has been more detrimental? Do you think it's been big tobacco, or do you think it's been big sugar? We'd love to type a 1 for big tobacco and type a 9 for big sugar. A 1 for big tobacco and a 9 for big sugar. Go ahead with your computation, Self.
1,644 people.
Divide that by 24.
68 people.
An hour. Divide that by
24.
60.
Oh, we did about 24. All right.
So it's a little over 1 per second if it's 60.
Yes.
Wow. 1 per second coming up missing. Do you know the amount of energy it takes to be like, it might take 2 people to abduct a person, or 3, right? So who's doing this? Who's doing it, bro?
It ain't all people. I tell you that.
Man. So now we're about to roll into a 2-minute video. It's on the neuroscience. I know a lot of people appreciate science.
Scientists.
Oh yeah,
science.
Boy, I bet when they was in science class, they was sitting in there, huh? Like, that teacher is God. He's giving me all this information, all this useless information. Yeah. So this is what the science has on it. And, we listen to all of it. We don't discount science. It's monkey science.
Right. Monkey science. We don't listen to.
What's more addictive, cocaine or sugar?
Look at the monkey.
You'd think
the
the sweet
cocaine.
stuff found in cakes, breads, sodas, and chocolate would
Hey,
be
big
easier
ups.
to give up than a
Taco that
substance
tub. Look at
so
you.
dangerously addictive that it's illegal, right? Well, you might be
Doesn't tell.
surprised.
Well, big ups.
In 2007, researchers at the University of Bordeaux conducted a study where they equipped rat
Don't worry about it.
cages with 2 levers. One lever gave the rats an intravenous hit of cocaine. The other gave them 20 seconds to drink sugar water. Before beginning the tests, rats were allowed to sample each lever twice to see how they liked it. Once the test began,
I might have signed up for that
94%
college.
of the rats chose the sugar-sweetened water. Interestingly, rats still preferred the sweetened water even when the researchers gradually increased the cocaine dose. When comparing the brains of food addicts to cocaine addicts side by side, the similarities are undeniable. MRI scans of the brain's activity reveal a massive spike in dopamine upon initial craving.
Same
High
spike,
levels of
bro.
anticipation, but low levels of satisfaction on
That's
consumption.
why your kids, you see your kids when you be about to give them the sugar stuff.
Want sugar more than they actually
be like a little
enjoy
crackhead.
eating.
Yeah.
And here lies
around
the
the table.
problem. We enjoy
Dancing.
high-calorie
Looking at
foods
each
and
other.
drugs
Yeah,
because
what?
consuming them releases the same feel-good chemicals
Sit
in
down,
the
boy,
brain
sit
like
down.
dopamine
Sit down and get out the way.
endorphins.
Let him
The
sit down.
problem, however,
Yeah.
is that it takes more and more of the stimulus to get the same amount of pleasure, but your cravings actually increase. Craving makes sense from an evolutionary perspective.
And they
If we
get
hunted
quiet when
down
they
a
eat this sugar,
delicious
don't they,
wild
Sal?
boar and feasted
Don't
upon
sit
its
down when they
succulent
finally get
flesh,
that cake and that ice
we
cream.
would get pleasure from eating it. But if the cravings for that sweet boar
don't
meat
have to
never
tell 'em to sit
returned,
down when that's
we'd
going
die
on
of
after
hunger.
that.
In our modern world, you're much more likely to have too much of something than too little. This
different
caveman's
story.
brain told him to crave sugar for a good reason. Food was scarce in prehistoric times,
Look, they always try to tell you
and
you was a
anything
caveman.
high in calories like sugar or fat was very
They
rewarding
be
to the
killing me with
caveman
that.
brain in a
That's
world where
their
calories were
history.
harder to
Correct.
come across. But it doesn't make sense now. These days, sugar and refined carbohydrates, which are basically the same thing, are in everything, like bread, ready meals, pasta sauces, sodas, and of course candy. The food climate changed, but our brains didn't. We're designed to crave high-calorie foods, but the problem is they're everywhere. Can you imagine the problems if cocaine was this accessible? This constant exposure to high-calorie, high-sugar foods messes with our hormones. Unlike the caveman, whose
There's
eating
a
schedule was one
alternate
of feast
universe
or
where they're
famine,
ramming
we
cocaine
are
like
allowed
they're
to
ramming
constantly
sugar in it,
graze,
so-
which puts our hormones out of
It's
whack.
in everything.
We produce more insulin, which causes food to be stored in our fat cells. Furthermore, When we are constantly eating, we never give our body a chance to get in a fat-burning state,
Why
making
Malcolm
us
only
fat.
ate once a day.
So what can you do to cut down on sugar? The most important thing is to cut down on processed foods. Most processed foods contain high amounts of sugar, as it's the easiest and cheapest way to mass produce something that doesn't taste like cardboard. What counts as processed food? If it has a list of ingredients, it's processed.
Facts.
Real foods don't have ingredients, they
Facts.
are the ingredients.
Facts.
So try to eat like the caveman. If you need a snack,
here we
nuts
go.
are very healthy. And if you still can't kick the sweet tooth, then fruit should do the trick. But doesn't fruit contain sugar? Yes. But fruit has natural fiber, which prevents the sugar from being metabolized too quickly and messing around with your hormones, which is why sugar is so unhealthy in the first place. Not to mention the calories. Of course, if you're feeling really brave, you can go cold turkey. Cut out all sugars for a couple of weeks. You'll find that your cravings for the white stuff all but disappear, and you'll wonder how you could ever polish off a box of donuts in one sitting.
You sure will.
This video was made in collaboration with
Sure will,
Health
bro.
Chronicle.
I did that,
They
bro.
make fun, engaging animations about
Man, I ate like a
everyday
cookie, and I was like, I could only eat like half of it. I'm like, I can't believe I used to sit back and eat. If there were 2 bags of these, I would sit back and eat 2 bags of them.
All right. Hey,
You know?
it's a realization for you. You know, I know that it's fact because it's in everything. You know,
Bro, and it catch you slipping. Bro, I ordered there's some Hawaiian buns. There was Hawaiian bread.
Man, Hawaiian bread.
And
Oh my
me
God.
and wifey was like, oh, that's the best buns ever. Boy, I read the ingredients and hit them. Oh, it's just sugar. And because I haven't, yes, they've been getting me sugar. Yeah, they're getting me my sugar. Huh? Yeah. Like, we're going to get it to you.
When you find out how much sugar is in a can of pop, or soda for people that don't, you know, not from Chicago, man, you can't physically fit that much physical sugar in the goddamn can. It has to be liquefied, otherwise it wouldn't even fit in the damn can.
Right. Right. And that's going in your body.
Man.
And there's nowhere naturally where that can happen. So that means that your body is not prepared to really be dealing with that. You know, our studies were showing that the fruit and all of that is seasonal. We were nomadic naturally, and we were more active, you know, getting our food, hunting and gathering or what have you. So the fruit, you know, it wasn't like sugar. Once they refined it and made it into that powder and start cutting it into everything, that's when the problem started.
Yeah, they said that before it was refined, it had natural part.
Yeah.
You ate the whole fruit.
Same thing with the cocoa leaf, the cocoinha.
Yes.
But when you refine it, you're making it more potent.
Yeah, and it's attacking your body, and your body don't even know how to deal with that shock.
All your brain sensors and everything.
And it'd be like, oh my God, what is that?
Yeah, more. And
you know, to get the same satisfaction, you got to do more and more, even 8 times more than cocaine.
Wow. 8 times more. 8 times more.
And
That's
it's
crazy.
accepted. It's not even considered a drug. It's
So
an accepted part of the lifestyle in this country anyway.
So our polls so far, we've got 2 gentlemen that have taken the poll challenge, and they typed in 9. So one was tobacco and 9 was Big Sugar.
Yep.
Damn, I should have just had them type in the actual word, huh?
Yep.
I tried to make it easy. Tried to make it easy on the chat. You know what I mean?
And then he types, he spells out 9. So it didn't make it any easier. He could have took sugar or tobacco. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe they said Big Sugar. Well, just so you know, that's my opinion. Wasn't my opinion before I did this study. How about you, Self?
Yeah, I didn't, you know, they were both horrible, and I still don't know if I can weigh them against each other there. Man.
Facts. What happened, Self? Oh, we got Joe. We got Joe Cool. Joe Cool in the building. What up, Joe Cool? He said, Science fan. Hey, big ups. Y'all subscribe to Joe Cool, man. That brother's on the west side. He's
Yes,
Silverback.
sir.
Man,
Yes,
he
sir.
out there challenging 12. He be out there. He's in Florida now with Big Nick, South Florida. They out there like Scottie Pippen and Mike now, bro. They out there
Man,
like
that's
yeah,
gotta be it.
Batman and Robin. You know,
The videos I've seen have been outstanding.
12 has been warned. They don't want none. You see, they don't even want none. So
You're sitting there not even asking them. Big Nick talking to the cops like, y'all know me, you know me, you know I know the rules. Got you babysitting.
Man, 12 got that in their report. If y'all don't think they on the internet, y'all off y'all rocker, man.
Period.
Hey, he said TATN, not sure how I found you, but hello. Joe Cool, that was through Big Nick, bro. Big Nick, South Florida. And
Yes,
then we got what was you about to say about you had started laughing and I started.
Oh, I was laughing because when Creeper put LOL 9 spelled it all the way out.
Hey, and big ups to Creamer because he's 50% of TATN history.
History, yes, sir. That's gonna be outstanding, man. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be must see TAN TV.
Well,
just like the Self Luv Show.
Or even TATN. TATN.
No doubt.
Hey, but yeah, and so we had a phone conference today, and it looks like we should be able to start that in mid-May.
Bet.
So our format, this brother and also Brother Pender, who was also part of our Black Educator Series, 2-time National Teacher of the Year. Pat Pender, you can check him out as well. They're going to do this project.
Outstanding.
So man, and
gonna
I
be
know
completely on point. And you're gonna learn a lot. Tune in. I know I will be.
Neither of them vibrate any white noise in their message.
Period.
And, I got a lot of white noise, right? And I'll say things, everything ain't black and white, Mills, because I got a lot of white noise. They know about the white noise, but they vibrate. Black music, should I say?
Period. The higher vibrations and higher tones.
Man. And they don't do opinions. They do facts.
Yes.
So we're going to have receipts. So the format's going to be, these gentlemen are going to do a 15 to 20 minute Black historical presentation. They're going to clarify things that need to be clarified. They're going to break it down for you. And then we'll have a discussion session. For some of you who've never attended a major university, you'll have a lecture, right? The professor gets up there, and oftentimes you can't understand a word coming out of his or her mouth because for some reason they thought it was good to bring some jackass from all over the world to teach Americans stuff like that we can't even understand. I can't understand why that makes sense to anyone. But anyway, but our teachers at TATN, our messiahs as we call them, they're going to speak, English in a way that we all can understand it and break it down on a tone that we can all understand it. So if you've never attended university, the format is there's a lecture, right? And then there's a discussion. Now, the discussion is never with the professor. The professor may have office hours and, we're not having that. But we do have the discussion. That's going to be right after the initial presentation. And then we could be live, interactive, asking questions, checking the history. We want people to check the history, fact check. Don't just, Self Love and I, we say, don't answer questions, but we also say question everything. Question everything. I can love you. I'm still going to do my research. And that's what we're about.
Due diligence. It's the only way we can grow. Like you can't accept anybody's opinion. And man, we need, that was would be a great show topic. Facts versus opinion. Because I've come to see so many Black people that don't know the difference.
We don't know the difference between facts and opinion and needs and wants.
Man. And we have a infinity with emotional attachments to what we think. Like, it's a fact. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care how you feel about it. It's a fact. Because you don't like it, and I don't feel like that. That doesn't matter. Doesn't change that it's a fact out there.
Your feelings really only matter to you.
Period.
At the end of the day, your feelings only really matter to you, and it's up to you to figure out a way to process those feelings in such fashion, where you can be a good member of society. Have we done the sugar short history, bro? We did that. No, I mean the Coke versus sugar. Have we done that? I don't think we ran.
The next thing is a medical study: sugar as addictive as heroin.
What timeline is that?
I gotta look on to.
No, we haven't done the 9 top unknown facts.
Oh no, we have not.
So, but we've done the Coke versus sugar, the 4-minute video. I don't think we've done that. I know we did the cocaine rat test, right?
Hold on.
All right.
Cocaine versus sugar. Yeah, we ran that already.
All right. So let's go ahead and roll the next one, which is what? We ran Coke.
Sugar as addictive as heroin.
Well, no, we got to do 9's top unknown facts then.
Yep, you're not.
Okay. All right. So let's you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Let's get them in here. Like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna give you guys my top 9 unknown facts about Big Sugar. Things you may not have known. Some of these you may have known. We're gonna present those to you in descending order. All righty. Wait a minute. So number 9 is going to be the most obscure. All right. Number 9 is going to be the most obscure fact. So number 1, sugarcane and beets are the world's 3rd most produced crop. Sugarcane and beets are the world's 3rd most produced crop. Number 2, Big Sugar is over a $100 billion United States industry. That's in the U.S. $100 billion. Number 3, less than 0.5 grams of sugar on labels is legally considered no sugar. Again, if you're reading a label, best believe it has sugar. Even if it says no sugar, like the Tic Tac says no sugar. The Tic Tac has less than 0.5 grams of sugar, but the Tic Tac has sugar. Number 4. The biggest international billionaires on this planet push sugar. Yeah, they push that spice. The biggest international billionaires. It's not the ones you're thinking about. Oh, but Google it. They're out there, and they're sugar pushers. Number 5, animal bones, which are known as bone char, are used to refine and filter both brown and white sugar. That's right. You might be running around calling yourself a vegan, but you like to put a little sugar in your coffee. Okay. Now you got animal bones. Okay. Don't know if y'all knew that. Number 6, dogs have a sweet tooth. Cats do not. Bet you didn't know that. Dogs have a sweet tooth. Yeah, they like sugar. But cats, I wonder if cats like cocaine. Somebody will test it. Number 7, squares, cigarettes contain sugar. Oh yeah, caramel and cocoa. Number 8, sugar, which we discussed, is more addictive than cocaine and triggers the brain's reward system in the exact same way. So we discussed that. And the number 9, self-love, the 9th most obscured fact that you probably didn't know about Big Sugar is
Ding, 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 ding.
Big Sugar got both the FDA and the Harvard scientists to parrot the fact, the quote unquote fact, which was a lie, that fat is worse than sugar. And that's why Self Love and I are big proponents of defund the Ivy Leagues.
Man, I contend that the greatest thinkers don't come from there.
Yeah, I agree. The greatest thinkers do not come from there. Yeah, I agree, bro. So, yeah, so, man, now, you guys like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. We did those top 9. Those is 9's top 9 most unknown facts about sugar. I know you guys may have known some of those. But what were you saying, bro?
Oh, man. That the coughing fit made me forget.
That's all right.
That was pretty much at the end of it, I think.
All right. It's all good. You all right over there, bro? Get you some water?
Yeah, I got some water out there. I don't know what happened out there. Some phlegm went down the wrong place out there.
It's all good, bro. And you guys, let's we're gonna jump into the next one real quick. Sugar versus heroin. It's gonna be, is that right? Sugar versus heroin?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a 2-minute video, y'all. Sugar versus heroin. That's heroin for you.
Sugar as addictive as heroin.
Yes.
Well, as you have probably heard, a teaspoon of sugar helps the medicine go down, but a recent medical commentary warns that the sweet stuff could be as addictive as heroin. 23 ABC's Mark Christian explains what dietary experts say about that commentary and how you should consider limiting your sugar consumption.
Some people just gotta have it.
I love sugar.
You can find it in cookies, cakes, soft drinks, and pretty much in all packaged and processed foods.
People crave the sugar,
Look at
just
him,
like you would a drug.
What can't even let it go?
Exactly what one recent study out of Europe claims. Sugar can be as addictive as heroin.
Sugar fiend when it comes to candy. Like my son's trick-or-treat candy that I just had.
I didn't know it was heroin. I knew cocaine.
Got myself into that a little bit.
Like stealing candy from a baby. Halloween is a sugar addict's dream.
He's a sharing boy. That's good.
Health experts say sugar produces a dopamine effect, which stimulates the part of your brain that causes you to feel good.
But that's the same thing that our bodies do with a drug. So that's where we can kind of put the addictive properties. So there are definitely some addictive properties there. Now, is it addictive like heroin? That might be taking it to a little
She's a sugar user.
The commentary
She's on the
says
spice.
high fructose corn syrup is the main offender, which you'll find in soft drinks, fruit juices, baked goods, condiments such as ketchup, jams, and sauces.
Sugar is something our bodies know how to process and manage, but high fructose corn syrup is not a natural product. This is concentrated, so our bodies
She lied about the sugar.
differently.
Now,
I'm
dietary
saying she's a
experts say
user.
we consume too much sugar on a daily basis, and one look inside your pantry can reveal the truth. For example, the average soda has about 10 teaspoons of sugar. And the
10
report's
teaspoons.
author suggests using warning labels on sugary products similar to what's on a pack of cigarettes. But this would be for obesity, diabetes, and other health concerns.
I think that's a great idea. You
Look
know,
at
if
him.
we
He
could
can't let
teach
it go.
the young people to
Yeah,
look
he
at
will
that
not. There
and
it is.
then
He
try to think about it and restrict themselves, everybody's going to be better off.
Mark Christian, 23, ABC.
She didn't know about heroin
at all.
You know, she didn't want to go into it.
She didn't want to know. That was the whole thing. She did not want to know that it's addictive like
Because she's a user. You can tell she lines up. Bro, I was sitting out in front of a Starbucks, bro, doing a Uber waiting to pick somebody up. I told you about this some years ago. And I was parked out there, and bro, these pink people The Ubers that was dropping them off couldn't even stop completely. They were getting out of the moving cars and running. Bro, running to get in line, man.
I'm not
Coffee,
shocked.
soda.
Man.
I can open a store, and if you go to gas stations, remember it used to say coffee, tobacco, soda, and beer. I can just open a store anywhere and just, that's what I sell.
Yeah.
Get your poisons here.
You do very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
In most neighborhoods, but not in Silverdale.
Yeah, not in Silverdale. Yeah, we're gonna have some serious talks as Silverdale's being formed. You know, I'm pretty opinionated, but like we were saying, everybody's got their opinions and feelings. We'll sit down as a conglomerate and, you know, come up with something that works for everybody. You know what I mean? I understand no sugar might be a little bit. We want our businesses to be able to make money. You know, but if we find out you're selling those spices to our kids, then guess what? Then you might have a problem. Let's just keep that. Let's keep those spices in the Pinky's neighborhood, huh, Self?
Man, let them deal with that out there.
They're
TATN.
animals. They're animals, all of them. You know what I mean? These are the types of images we got to get in movies about us, people. And you guys, you know, I mean, it's old hat. You know, it's old hat.
No doubt.
Hey, you guys, make sure you're gonna like, share, and subscribe.
We need that. We need your help. We need to organically grow. And if you're here, you see the kind of information we got. You know that it's well needed in our communities. So spread it far and wide. Don't let it hide. Let's make sure the algorithm sees us and puts us in front of people that watch videos like ours.
Facts. Hey, and we need y'all to do it because the algorithm ain't gonna do it for us. The algorithm does not want this type of content out on these streets. So it's gonna take us being a little less lazy and a little more proactive in getting this out to people, and then telling people it takes a little time to actually type on your phone, hey, this is great information going out. You know, be good for the nation. This is a movement that's going on. Everything might not be good for you. And then you're able to copy that and just forward that to people all over the world. If you do that for us, you know, this platform's what, Self?
Your platform. This platform's our platform, from California to South Shore. This platform was made for you and me. This was made for you and me.
That's right.
Let's do this.
Yeah, this isn't our platform. Well, it's our platform, but it's your platform as well.
Period.
It's kind of like the macro and the micro with God.
Man.
Right?
Absolutely.
Anyone, in my opinion, who says there's no God is saying that they do not exist.
Huh? They feel like they're just a happenstance. I don't think they can feel like they exist.
If there's no God, we don't exist. To have this conversation.
Happenstance.
Yeah, happenstance. Everything that's happened, all this beauty, all of this sacred geometry, everything is just happenstance.
That's, I mean, if there's no creator, then that's what is being put forth as far as I'm concerned. I don't see it other way.
You know what's up? You gotta write that up. Just give it a name and then get your, you know, happenstance theory of self.
You know what? I'm gonna write that down. The happenstance.
The theory of you know what I mean? The theory of happenstance. They'll like that. Yeah, people will like it. You know, they will like it. Because that's basically all it is. If you unpack that, So have we done nicotines like heroin? So let's get into a short 1.5 minute video on how tobacco targets the vulnerable. How it literally targets the vulnerable. And that's just awful.
I need to find that.
You know? Take your time, bro. Maybe it's not on there. Did I mess something up? I think it should be the one. What's the one right after the one we played?
What sugar is really doing to your body. Why sugar is poison.
Oh, wait a minute. Sugar? Have we made it? Have we?
Yeah.
We made it to sugar?
Oh, we've been doing sugar. We haven't gotten to tobacco.
Okay, we started with sugar. Okay. All right. Gotcha. So, big sugar. What is sugar doing in your body? That's where you're at? What is sugar doing in your body?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I see what's going on. We're so behind schedule that I'm...
Yeah.
All right, producers, I hear you. So, yeah, let's go ahead and roll that. This is going to be a video on what sugar is doing to the human body. And big ups
Sugar
to
addiction
the
is a real problem. However, I've noticed that a lot of people don't seem to realize that every time they ingest sugar, or any food containing sugar, what they're actually doing is poisoning themselves.
Thanks.
Over and over again, research has proven that sugar is more addictive than cocaine, and that every time you eat a chocolate bar or take a super sweet Starbucks coffee, you increase the likelihood of you developing one of these many diseases: cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, obesity, and much, much more. So, in this video, I'm not only going to discuss sugar addiction and the damage it does to your body, but practical steps to help you break this deadly addiction. We've always been told that sugar has many negative effects, both for the body and mind. Weight gain, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease are among the major complications of chronic consumption of excessive sugar. But how's this addiction established? According to Dr. Robert Lustig, a pediatric endocrinologist who's best known for his work promoting anti-sugar diets, sugar, in the forms of sucrose and fructose, is like poison due to its negative effects on the neurotransmitter systems of the body. This addiction can be explained as a cycle, perpetually becoming stronger and stronger every single time we ingest and consume sugar. When sugar is consumed into the body, blood sugar levels spike, releasing high amounts of opioids and dopamine in the brain, which gives you a tremendous, satisfying sensation. This process is called reward. Meanwhile, acetylcholine levels, that's another neurotransmitter, are diminished, a process which intervenes in tolerance. After this, high levels of insulin are produced by the pancreas to decrease your glycemic levels, which results in a rapid fall. This causes immediate fat storage by the cells to occur. The cycle continues with the craving for more sugar to replenish its loss, along with a displeasurable sensation. With time, your body will increase the amount of sugar you consume in order to increase the release of opioids and dopamine levels that are giving you that same satisfying sensation you had in the beginning. This whole cycle leads to compulsive eating and binging, making this addiction even more difficult to break. As stated before, chronic abuse of sugar is proven to lead to some pretty serious diseases. Type 2 diabetes is the best example of one of the negative side effects of this addiction. Consuming high amounts of sugar leads to massive production of insulin by the pancreas. After several years of over-consuming sugar and overproducing insulin, the pancreas begins its degenerative process, diminishing the insulin levels you produce. Due to this, higher and higher levels of glycemia presence lead to the appearance of type 2 diabetes and its complications. Normally, the liver turns sugar into fat, storing it. But with this condition, the excessive storage of sugar leads to a disease called fatty liver, which results in the dysfunction of every liver process. With time, high amounts of sugar in the bloodstream will affect the vascular system, leading to high blood pressure and heart disease. A common complication of diabetes is diabetic neuropathy, a condition that results in the damage of small blood vessels that nourish nerves, which leads to a series of symptomatology that can conclude with an amputation. But the complications of sugar addiction don't only affect the body, they also affect the mind. When high levels of blood sugar are stored by the cells, opioids and dopamine levels also fall, producing a severe sensation of fatigue and displeasure. This feeling can lead to abnormal behavior that can only be countered with the consumption of higher and higher levels of sugar. I know this is a lot of information to take in, but I wanted you guys to know the harmful effects you're doing to yourselves every time you take sugar. We can live and thrive without sugar. Our ancestors did. But today, sugar is in everything we eat. The multi-billion-dollar food industry doesn't want you to give up sugar. Their sales depend on it. That's why they sneak sugar into everything, labeling those foods as low-fat or free from artificial flavors. Although those statements might be true, they're simply masking sugar-laden products with a false claim that they're healthy and good for you. For example, from just one serving of iced tea, you'll end up with nearly 9 teaspoons of sugar. A single cup of 245 milligram low-fat yogurt contains about 12 teaspoons of sugar, and for all you coffee lovers, a flavored coffee drink can contain as much as 25 teaspoons of sugar. That's shocking, right? So, if you want to overcome this addiction, here are a few things you can do. Number 1, clean your house. Start your recovery process by removing all sugar and processed foods and donate them or throw them in the trash. With this, you'll reduce temptations and make it much harder to give in to your craving. Search through your cupboards, pantry, and kitchen for all those unhealthy and sugary snacks and drinks and take control of the situation. Number 2, substitute your sweets for whole fruits. Fruits can be a very satisfying treat. Plus, they're full of vitamins and micronutrients. But be careful with the amount you consume because some of these have high sugar content. For this reason, avoid grapes or cherries. Number 3, drink plenty of water. It's well known that chronic dehydration can increase sugar cravings, slow down your metabolism, and stimulate fat storage. You should drink a minimum of 8 glasses of water every day. Number 4, eat balanced meals. Consume the nutrients that your body craves with healthy meals. Remember to have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in every meal. Prepare healthy snacks and carry them to have in the morning and afternoon. Number 5, lower your stress levels. Do regular physical activity, yoga sessions, and meditation. These activities will consume the extra sugar in your body and at the same time will liberate that annoying stress which can lead to more cravings. Also, you need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day.
Thanks.
So, there you have it, guys. Overcoming your sugar addiction is a sure way to a healthier and more energetic life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but if you want to beat it, that's how you're going to beat your sugar addiction, everybody. If you're going to beat it, that's how you're going to beat the sugar addiction, right, Self Love?
Yes, absolutely. It's, you know, if you look at it, it's of the utmost importance. I don't know why this wasn't explained to us, you know,
in school,
early in life. Like
these could have been tests. The health class, health class should be mandatory, right? And these should be questions on your test.
Why does the FDA, who says these diets approve these diets and all this, include this drug? I mean, or okay. I don't know if we can call it a drug out there. Can we call it a drug out there?
It's a spice.
Spice, yeah.
Same way you call the NCAA athletes student athletes.
Yeah.
You can't call them slaves. Yeah. And what do they call them? The Capitol rats? Those pink people that went and stormed the Capitol and rubbed poop all over the place. What do they call them? Extremist.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah. Stay on code here.
This spice.
All right.
And make it a part of everyday diet. Say it's all right. So yeah, you can thumbs up sugar. I don't know about all of that out there. In fact, I do know about that. That's not out there. No. It shouldn't be doing that. And they don't care, so that's what that is.
No. They absolutely do not care. And that's, kind of what we're looking at. And let me, because I just discovered cell phone, I'm looking at the chat on the computer. It just doesn't give me everything that I get on my phone. So big ups to Marty Elkins. Big up. He said, hey, fellas, how's it going? Me and the wifey is in Orlando on vacation. I just chimed in. Great topic. Sugar is definitely poisonous to our people. Yeah, he's out there in Disney, bro.
Yeah, man. Enjoy, man. Enjoy.
They're about to sugar his family to death, ain't they? You can take your mask off. Yeah, you can take your mask off as long as you're going to eat sugar.
You already know.
Hey, when you go to the Peter Pandemic, don't they got a Peter Pandemic exhibit now?
After this past year, they should. They don't.
If you don't have a mask on, you know what I mean? The boogeyman comes and gets you, you know what I mean? The Peter Pandemic. Hey, but yeah, but you guys make sure you like, share, and subscribe, huh?
All the time. We need your help. We need to grow organically, and we need your help. So help us.
Facts.
It helps us all.
So production, we're gonna roll into the top Big Sugar producer. We want to just roll right into that. We want to follow the money and just kind of an idea
This is what
who the slave
sugar.
masters
In
are.
this video, I'll give you an overview of the most well-known cane sugar brands in the United States.
These are the slave masters.
60% of the total refined cane sugar in the country is produced by one company, American Sugar Refining, or ASR Group. Their brands include Domino, C&H, Florida Crystals, and new to the U.S. market, the TATN Lyle's brand. Lyle's brand of cane syrups are also part of the ASR Group.
They own that organic one. You saw that?
Yeah.
The 100-year-old Domino sugar brand has the highly recognizable yellow bag. It has changed hands many times, but since 2001,
Look, that bag makes me
it
feel
has
happy.
been owned by ASR. I show you a glimpse of 9 different types of Domino cane sugar packed
You be
in
lying
different
if you said
sizes
that
and
bag don't
containers.
make you feel
I
happy.
invite you to watch their full unboxing and review by visiting the
Your
What
mama's
Sugar
in there
channel.
making cake with that stick.
The first 7 sugars you see here are refined cane sugars. Most people don't know that production of refined sugars from cane involves 2 steps carried out in 2 facilities, a sugar mill and a sugar refinery. First, in a sugar mill located near sugarcane plantations, an impure sugar called raw sugar is produced from cane juice to be shipped and traded worldwide and sold only to refineries, not consumers. Then, in a sugar refinery, raw sugar is further purified to an astonishingly pure sucrose, a refined cane sugar. Sugar refineries buy raw sugar from domestic sugar mills or from foreign sources, mainly South America, Africa, and Australia. In the U.S., sugarcane is grown and milled only in Florida, Louisiana, and Texas. Domino sugar refineries purify domestic and foreign raw sugars in 3 locations east of the Mississippi River. Domino Chalmette Refinery in Louisiana, located just outside New Orleans, is the largest refinery in the United States. It began operating in 1909 and purifies domestic raw sugar from Louisiana and Texas. Like Domino, C&H Sugar brand has a memorable and attractive look. A bright pink packaging with the official Hawaiian flower, the hibiscus, as their symbol. C&H stands for California and Hawaiian Sugar Company.
That's all on the West Coast, so.
Because their refinery was built in California in 1906 to be devoted entirely to the refining of the Hawaiian cane sugar. The state of Hawaii used to have sugarcane planted in 4 of their islands.
Same shit, different
But
package.
in 2016, their last cane plantation was closed. I purchased 10 different types of cane sugar with the brand C&H. 8 of them are refined cane sugars. Please watch each individual sugar unboxing by subscribing to What Sugar channel. C&H Sugar Company Refinery is located in Crockett, California, and refines raw sugar from domestic and foreign sources. C&H and Domino are sister brands that sell essentially the same cane sugar product. Both brands are available to consumers all over the country, but C&H is sold predominantly on the West Coast and Domino on the East Coast market. C&H and Domino are the leading brands of refined sugar in the U.S.
Sister companies.
And along with Florida Crystals, TATN Lyle, and Lyle's brands, are sold and distributed by Domino Foods Incorporated. Domino Foods is the largest marketer of refined cane sugar in the country. Florida Crystals brand of cane sugars have the familiar green-colored bags and circular logo. I purchased 6 types of cane sugar with the brand Florida Crystals. Watch their unboxing at What Sugar channel. Florida Crystals is the leading national brand in the organic and natural sugar market. Put simply, Organic and natural cane sugars are produced from the initial pressing of cane by a single crystallization process of the cane juice.
Sugar
On
cane,
the other hand, as said
cocaine,
before,
yeah.
refined cane sugars are produced in a refinery using raw sugar as the starting material, not the cane juice. Raw sugar, which can be from domestic or foreign origin, is purified by not one but a series of crystallization processes. Florida Crystals Corporation is a company owned by the Fanjul brothers, a Florida-based Cuban-American family that in 1998 partnered with the Co-op Sugarcane Growers Cooperative of Florida to create American sugar refining. Today, ASR claims to be the world's largest refiner of cane sugar. Florida Crystals owns 2 sugar mills in South Florida and a sugar refinery that refines raw sugar from domestic sources. It is America's only producer of certified organic sugar. In 2010, ASR Group acquired the sugar division of TATN Lyle, a British-based leader in the production of sweeteners. The deal involved not only the takeover of their famous brand name, but also 4 cane sugar refineries in Europe. The new company, called TATN Lyle Sugars, sell their product under the historic brands of TATN Lyle and Lyle's, which date back to the late 1800s. TATN Lyle is the largest cane sugar brand in the UK. In Europe, it offers an extensive selection of cane
That's
sugars,
who's killing us,
but
y'all.
in the US, only 3 types are available.
These are your slave
TATN Lyle
masters.
Sugars also produces liquid sugarcane products with the brand Lyle's.
I'm gonna write
They are
them all a nasty
manufactured
letter.
in the UK, but can be found also in the US market.
Nasty letter.
Lyle's golden syrup on a green and gold tin has been produced since 1882. It is in the Guinness Book for being the world's oldest unchanged brand. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to What
That
Sugar
ASR, boy. Stop it, production whenever you're ready. And I'll tell y'all what, we can take a page out of their book as far as how they say sister companies. I mean, I think it's about time the Vice Lords and BDs become sister companies, and GDs and the Stones become sister companies, and the Bloods and the Crips start calling each other sister companies, and get spice out there and get this money, right?
Man, we need to unite. And
That's all they did. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Well, they had the biggest one, and they just created a monopoly out of it. They bought the other ones, and they keep buying them. You know, so that's what that is.
Yeah. Yes.
Big buck, take little buck.
Facts. Big bucks take little bucks, man. So, you know, we ran that video. I know that was long. And big ups, you know, to you know, the station that did it. I'll put it in the comments, and we'll list all of the stations. But moving forward, Self Love and I do a better job verbally, you know, acknowledging the YouTubers for the, you know, the great work they're doing.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. They big up themselves at the end and said who they were.
True.
And we acknowledge that and thank them for doing.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate you playing that to the end, because I normally ask production to stop it. So until we are able to start acknowledging it, we'll just play it you know, all the way to the end, because they do acknowledge themselves. So, you know, Self Love and I, we got a nasty, you know, comment from you know, somebody, you know. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna write a nasty letter to these sugar companies, bro. You know what I mean? The pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. Like in this so-called country where we live, in a lot of cases, you can get more done. Because if you got a sword and you go there, you might get shot out there.
Yeah, facts.
Pen,
Facts.
You can get a lot of information out there to who needs to have it for what needs to be done.
Well, you know, I'm pretty crafty with my letter Self. You know what I mean? When I put pen to paper, I get a call from the owner. Like, I'll be having billionaires call me like, did you write this letter? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's got the right amount of humor. And I'll send it, it's a little trick to you guys. You know, you send that overnight mail, spend you about $13-15, and you send a copy of the CEO, their little slave, who you might call an assistant. or right, student athlete. They call them apprentice. They got words for slavery. They'll rush it right to them. This must be important. It's overnight. It's important. You put all those words on there, but it's got to be a well-written letter. You can't be,
Can't
no.
be
No, that's it. It has to, from the very beginning.
Flow. It's got an intrigue, a draw, man.
Yes, a beginning.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Okay, this is very well written. So let me read it.
Thank
see
you.
what it is.
Well, you just said at the end of the day, they don't have to agree with nothing in the letter, but as long as they say it was well written, there's a bit of respect that comes from your mastery of the language.
Yeah, and they respond.
Yeah, they usually respond. But Big Sugar might send those goons. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna send a nasty letter.
Send them.
Yeah,
we're not alone. We're not by ourselves out there.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll construct a letter. We'll CC it to all the different Big Sugar companies. Once I have it constructed, I'll read it here on Self Luv Show first, and make sure everybody click a number if they agree that it should go out, and then I'll sign it and put my John Hancock on it. We're gonna send it out overnight mail, and we're gonna see what type of response we get from Big Sugar. I'm gonna give it to her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and they have no reason to care.
No.
They got lots of money.
Yeah.
Tell them, I'm eating a sugar snack right now as I'm writing this letter. That's why they're gonna like the letter. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're, so they're gonna be like, you're probably eating a sugar snack, at the same time. But
sugary. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Ain't hard to tell. We was born to excel. Let's go. We need your help. We're going to keep going. We will never fail. Let's do it.
Man, that is facts.
Yes. Halftime, y'all. Woo! Man, thank y'all so much, man. It means the world. It means the world that y'all are here with us, helping us grow this situation, helping us expand and raise our nation. We need your help. Love y'all. So we're gonna have a couple videos coming up. Got lead actress from American Skin, Melania Jackson.
Big ups.
Speaking up on the show.
From the South Shore area, boy, 73rd, and where she say she was off of? 7 Trey and Stony, pretty much, yeah.
So then we're gonna transition into Big Tobacco. So check us out. We're gonna stretch our legs, hit the head. Be back shortly.
And even in this instance, if I could be a service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
Lucy, come on out. Everybody's waiting for you. got something for you. It's a Philip Morris.
Oh, Desi, you're so good to me.
Well, honey, you deserve the best. And you deserve the best, too. So...
Call for
Philip Morris!
Call for Philip Morris!
Is there any reason to think that the succession means any changes to the company's overall view that we're eventually headed into a smokeless world?
No, not at all. I think a vision of the company that we want to leave the smoking well behind us for the benefit of the company, stakeholders, smokers, society as large stays there. I mean, I've been working with Andrei Kalantzopoulos since the beginning of these transformations, hand in hand. I mean, we share the same visions, we develop, design the strategies, and I'm very glad that he will retain within the Philip Morris family as the executive chairman as of May. Support of the board is very important, and we just go as always full steam into, as I said earlier, leave the smoking behind us, solve the problem of smoking once and forever and for good.
I'm curious to know how you see policy incentives moving that along, accelerating the change in consumer behavior. And I'm also curious to know what this latest FDA approval means for IQOS.
Well, FDA approval for IQOS, both the modified risk tobacco product authorizations and a PMTA, which is just a technical term for the one of the version of IQOS, are very important. Is the testimony that the science, the evidence which we have provided behind the device, behind the system is meeting the FDA standards. These are the highest standards which you can see on any international market. So we are very proud, of the efforts which we have taken for so many years are bringing the fruits, that the regulator is comfortable in authorizing an IQOS from the perspective of promoting the public health. I think it's for us. I mean, it's very encouraging that we're making that progress. Obviously, the regulations in the different markets are at a different level. The way we see this whole thing, that, consumer smokers, adult smokers, they will have to have an access to information about the product. So there is obviously regulatory space. When the regulators can create that space, then the people have an access to information. They need to have an access to the product. And obviously, as many governments in many countries recognize, there's also the question from a economic accessibility of the product. I mean, we took quite a lot of effort that our systems are sold at affordable prices, but obviously this product in many jurisdictions is enjoying a lower taxation than the regular cigarettes, which I think makes perfect sense, perfect logic, because the better product should enjoy the lower tax burden than the product which is, definitely more harmful, like cigarettes.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC.
Like, share, subscribe. We are live, y'all. Interactive.
Attention, everyone. Introducing Sayrica Africa's all-new cell phone touchscreen crossbag. This bag enables you to be able to talk, text, and email without coming fully in contact with the screen, making it coronavirus safe. This bag makes your phone easily accessible, being around your neck, which means no more misplacing your phone. This crossbag also protects your phone from any fall damage, so no more money spent to fix screens. The bag is also waterproof too, which means no more water damage. This bag also has compartments to store items such as cards and IDs. These are easily accessible as well as the phone. So buy now at sayricaafrica.com.
This is my joint right here. Trife, you're a fool for this one.
Big ups, Trifo, big ups.
Welcome back to the Self Love Show. First half, we looked at Big Sugar. We looked at Big Sugar. Lower the music a little bit slightly. Thank you, production. Now we're transitioning to Big Tobacco, and we're gonna know how you feel, which is worse. We're gonna get a lot of information, just like we did in the first half about sugar, about tobacco. Man, it's a great situation. Thank you for all your support. We love y'all. Let's keep going, because we're going like the music say. Yeah.
Anywhere, boy. Anywhere. Anywhere. Come on, man. If you from Chi and you truly came up in Chi,
you can go anywhere.
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 Bro, anywhere. You could be in the darkest part of Russia. Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. You know why? Because we come to an understanding that it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but it ain't what they say it is.
Most definitely.
Man. Self-love, always talk about respect. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Respect is, has to be there. If that respect ain't present, then, forget about it. Forget about it. Nothing happening.
Man.
Ain't nothing happening.
Facts. And forget about it. So we're going to jump into a quick short history of Big Tobacco. We did a short history of
your volume dropped. I don't know what happened.
Uh-oh. It might be because the music was playing too long.
Yeah.
The copyright bots.
Okay, there you go. Now you sound
it's better.
Good.
Appreciate
sound
that.
Great.
Appreciate that. So we're going to jump into this short history of Big Tobacco circa 6000 BCE in the Americas. It was used for medicinal purposes. It was used by the so-called indigenous for wounds. They stick it to the open wounds, wet it and stick it. They also used it to soothe the pain from toothaches. Yeah, they used it for toothache pains, and also as disease, cures for certain disease. They also used tobacco for religious ceremonies. Now, in 1492, with the arrival of Pinky Columbus, that's Christopher Columbus, the Pinkies were introduced to tobacco. In the mid-16th century, the Pinkies mainly used it as well for medicinal purposes. No one was using it for recreation. Now, right around Virginia, no, that's wrong. In 1606, the Virginia Company, now we're talking about from England, because now you have to remember we get, all of our names from England. I think it's been said that we're still colonies earlier in the show. But in 1606, the Virginia Company, which is an English company, chartered by King James I of England, it set sail to what would become Virginia in the U.S. In 1612, John Rolfe, an Englishman, brought tobacco seeds from Trinidad. It was once punishable by death to sell tobacco seeds to non-Spaniards up until this point. So somehow, John Rolfe of England was able to get his hand on these valuable seeds. In 1619, slaves arrived, paid for by King James I, to work in the Americas, to work the tobacco fields. That's right. So-called slaves, prisoners of war, whatever you want to call them. Tobacco was employees, maybe you want to call them employees. Tobacco was used as a supplementary currency for decades. We're talking about in the U.S. In 1826, scientists, I saw Joe Cool, he's a scientist. Hey, Joe Cool, like I said, big up, we're down with science, brothers. Just the monkey science, the science of the Tuskegee experiment, the nonsense science. We're not, we don't follow that. But in 1826, scientists said nicotine poison was an issue. So they started to see some signs that nicotine was deadly. In the late 1800s, a majority of the Americans were chewing tobacco. Cigarettes were made from leftover scraps of this chewing tobacco. Now, cigarettes or cigars at this time were considered a luxury because they had to be hand rolled until the rolling machine was invented, allegedly by a pink man in 1881, American James Bonsack. I sincerely, succinctly believe one of the brothers invented it. Absolutely. He stole the copyright. Now, World War I popularized squares. They actually called them soldiers' smoke. World War II included squares in soldiers' rations. Now, 1930s to 1940s, the Germans, yes, the Nazis, ran a vigorous anti-smoking campaign because their doctors and scientists had got wind of the evil, diabolical scheme to kill people for profit. Now, this campaign was, in fact, funded by the Nazis. Small ups to the Nazis. I don't know if you can say small up to the Nazis on YouTube without being maligned, but I mean, for this right here.
Yeah, they get a small ups for that.
Thank you. Now, in the 1950s, American researchers, 20 years after the Nazis, started to admit and confirm the same. So in the 1960s, the big government regulations started. In 1971, the U.S. TV ads were banned. So that's right around the time, I came onto the planet. In 1980s, smoking started to be banned indoors. Self Love, I'm sure you remember when all that started. Mm-hmm. And then, all of the big lawsuits accordingly. Now, I'll take you back a little bit. I was telling somebody about this earlier today, the old candy cigarettes. Right. A lot of you guys don't remember that you can literally go into a store and on that pack said Phillips Morris. And it looked just like a cigarette pack, and you pull that out, and it looked just like a cigarette, had a little red little tip, and you got that. Your parents and everybody didn't let you play with a gun. They wouldn't let you play with a toy blick a lot of times. They wouldn't, but they'd let you get that candy cigarette and blow that sugar out of that. You remember that stuff, the candy cigarettes?
Absolutely, I remember that.
Yeah, you ever had a pack of candy smokes and got the simulator out there packing the pack?
Yeah, a bunch of them.
Handing you ever pass it out to one of your friends, and one of your friends you sat there with the candy cigarette?
Yeah, just act like grown-ups. We act like grown-ups. We just
and that was big sugar.
We were blowing, like you said, blowing.
Bro, that was
we weren't even inhaling or sucking it in. We just didn't know what the hell we were doing. Like, yeah, we let grow.
And that was big sugar.
Yeah, that was big sugar.
In bed with
tobacco.
Big tobacco.
Period. That was a training wheel for smoking
and sugar. Like it was both. Yes. Do you know when they came up with
and
that?
the sugar in the cigarettes and
do you know the meeting when they came up with that, Tori? The back room, the guy, the promotion he got, the guy who came up with that.
Yeah.
Why don't we just make candy cigarettes? Yeah, you remember my idea with the candy blunts.
I wonder if they even own, if one owns the other.
Yeah, they're all sister. Well, they're going to call each other cousin companies when you start unpeeling the onion 20 years from now. Yeah. You're going to find out, and Big Tobacco and Big Sugar is a cousin company. Yeah.
They promote same fuckery. Can we say fuckery?
Yeah. Bro, we should make a candy blick. And you shoot it, little sugar puff comes out, and they can eat it. Let me see equivalent. Everyone's gonna look at us. Ooh, they're evil. Oh, they're evil. Well, you let Big Sugar do it. Yeah, you let Big Sugar do it and sat idly by and didn't say nothing about it. Yeah. Now, doctors started concluding that smoking is dangerous to every single part of the human body. I repeat, every function and every single part. It kills 5 million people per year, tobacco. Over 4,000, that's 4,000 chemicals are contained in one cigarette. 43 of those chemicals are known carcinogens.
40. Wow.
They alter your DNA via methylation or gene modification. That's back what you were talking about earlier, Self. You think something's going on, like, you know, yeah. So they know that this poison through methylation is modifying the human genome. The average smoker has 2,500 changes to their DNA per studies. Even if a smoker quits, they still have a much higher chance of containing cancer as a result of the smoking than persons who have never smoked. Wait a second here. Yeah. Smoking bans correlate with liberal states, and many nations are now starting to ban tobacco products in their entirety. Man, that's the short history of big tobacco. What sticks out?
All of that. That I didn't know any of that. Man, that's just more diabolical. But the panel is gonna be open, so you can hit the link and come in, and at some point when we let you know. But it's in the link is in the chat.
Oh yeah, you can click it now, anytime. Click it now. You'll be in the cream room for a while.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll click you in. Don't panic. We'll click you in. You know, we're doing a show here. We may not see it right away.
That's right. We also make me co-host because I'm not.
Oh yeah. We had a late start here. Yeah. So open panel, like Self said, open panel, and that's gonna you know, we can talk about it if you got some commentary, or it's just sit in the chat. You know,
or you can call in at 424-900-6945. That's 424-900-6945, and that is troll free, absolutely positively troll free, because trolls get holes around here.
Correct. And if you're not in a position to put your camera on, you know, you can click the link and just keep your camera off. You know, and it'd be the same thing like you're calling in. You know, we'd have voice only, right, Sal?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we realize, you know, some of you men out there want to be all prettied up before you get on camera, and you know, we understand what's going on out there.
Oh, my goodness.
We understand, you know, right, Sal? To each his own. So, yeah, man. So that was the short history of tobacco. Short history of tobacco. We're going to roll that straight into the nicotine test on the mouse. Remember we did that? The nicotine test on the mouse. So we did the one with the sugar earlier.
Our cigarette's gone now. Let's see what
now we're going to do it with the mouse. Big ups to Jimi Hendrix.
Keep in mind what was said about nicotine. It's a poison, deadly poison. It ranks with cyanide. Now, this residue is made up of nicotine and tars, a portion of which gets into your lungs every time you smoke a cigarette.
He's a spook. I've seen
You smoke a pack and a half of cigarettes a day for a year, and a full quart of these poisons will be poured into your bodies. And what does it do? Well, let's see what it does to a mouse.
Big ups to the mouse. Big ups.
There, fella.
Look at him. Little fella. Look at him being nice to him.
Now, this tube contains
About to kill it.
pure
Talking sweet to
nicotine.
it.
And I'm going to give this little fella
Little
one
fella.
drop.
Humanized it. Killed it. Listen to the
Couldn't do that today.
Hell nah. Listen to the diabolical music. You sure couldn't.
Fortunately, man is many times larger than a mouse.
They
Well,
give
that's
us
it, fellas.
enough
Thanks
pure
a lot.
nicotine, you'll shake out and die just like that, though.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and stop it, production, whenever you're ready.
Say, Doc, can I talk to you a minute?
Jimi Hendrix is in the building. In the building. If somebody can unmute him, see if he's got something to say, or we're going to block his camera. We unmute him and have him introduce himself and say a few words. You jump on the panel to add to the production here. Let's see here.
Yo, am I live right now? I'll try to get things together. I'm slow motion.
You are live, brother Jimi Hendrix. Welcome. Thanks for doing this. Yeah, thanks for doing this, bro. So what say ye, man, about big sugar or big tobacco so far? What you got to say so far, brother?
Hey, they both killers. I don't really have a problem with sugar as much as the world, but the tobacco, it's on my back, and I'm working on getting it off. But it's a killer to the world.
Man, that's well said, bro. That is well said. So if you're choosing between one of them to be considered more deadly to our community, which one would you say, in your opinion, is doing us, meaning the Black community, more harm?
I would say the sugar. It attacks our children, before they even have a chance to understand what we giving them. We have the choice to smoke that tobacco, as adults or as young kids, growing up. But that sugar, we giving it to them. They don't even know what they getting into.
Man. Well said, bro. Couldn't have said that better. So, Self Love, if you don't have nothing to add to that, we'll just ask our production to go ahead and roll into our next video, because we're going to unpack big tobacco. And like, share, subscribe. Let's get them in here. If you
Welcome
love
to 2 Minute
somebody, send them the link.
Neuroscience, where I explain neuroscience topics in 2 minutes or less. In this installment, I will discuss nicotine. Nicotine is the main psychoactive component of tobacco. It primarily exerts its effects by activating or acting as an agonist at certain receptors for the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. These receptors, known as nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, are found throughout the central and peripheral nervous systems. When nicotine binds to nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, it typically causes depolarization of the neuron they are found on, and the resultant release of a variety of neurotransmitters. Nicotine's action at acetylcholine receptors is thought to be the starting point for the drug's behavioral effects, but exactly how it produces these effects is not completely clear. Nicotine's rewarding and addictive qualities are thought to be linked to its ability to cause increased dopamine levels in areas like the nucleus accumbens. Nicotine also increases acetylcholine release, which might contribute to the enhanced attention and cognitive function associated with its use. And its ability to increase norepinephrine activity might contribute to the heightened arousal caused by the drug. In all of these effects, however, it's likely multiple neurotransmitter systems are involved. Nicotine also acts on nicotinic acetylcholine receptors in the peripheral nervous system, where it can lead to increased sympathetic nervous system activity like an elevated heart rate and blood pressure. It also causes the increased release of catecholamines like epinephrine from the adrenal glands, which can further enhance this sympathetic activity. Although nicotine first activates nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, it subsequently causes the receptors to become desensitized or less responsive, increasing tolerance to repeated uses of the drug. As more receptors become desensitized, the brain tends to upregulate or add more acetylcholine receptors. These increased receptor numbers might play a role in the withdrawal and craving that occurs when nicotine administration has ended.
Smokers are the first to tell you how hooked they are.
I just know that it's hard. I just haven't tried because I know that it's hard, and when I'm ready to quit, I'll try to quit.
I realize that it's unhealthy, but it is a very hard habit to quit.
The addiction has even been compared to heroin, but heroin and nicotine affect the brain's pleasure center in completely different ways. So when scientists found a portion of the brain's pleasure center responding to both nicotine and a heroin-like drug in the same way, the results were unexpected.
We were a little surprised to see an effect that was so similar between these two different classes of drugs.
Neuroscientist Dan McGee and his team monitored rat brain cells' response to both drugs. They wrote in the Journal of Neuroscience that in a particular brain region important in addiction, both drugs caused hypersensitivity to the brain's pleasure chemical dopamine, which can greatly enhance feelings of reward.
We use levels of the drugs that would normally be in the system in an individual that was using the drugs, and we see an effect that's identical. That argues that the strength is the same. It certainly supports the idea that nicotine is a very strongly addictive substance.
McGee cautions the jury is still out on whether smoking is as addictive as heroin, but he hopes the research will lead to new treatments that interfere with the rewards of harmful drugs while not affecting the rewarding effects of healthy habits. I'm Sunita Reed.
Yeah, we can stop that there. So yeah, man. I mean, this is crazy that they don't tell you that. They just don't put it in plain everyday English for you, this information when you're a kid. And
They don't tell us any part of it.
No.
The adults don't even know this information. So
No.
You have to really dig if you want that information. Like,
well, it's funny you said that, because they said that, you know how you talk about bot self, they said that these big corporations, they have so much money that they can truly control the narrative. You know, they can pay for that so that when Self Love does a Google search in big tobacco, good stuff comes up first, you know, and you have to, like what you said, you have to search, you have to really search. Right. So all of they have the money for all of their friendly science journals. All that stuff's going to pop up when you start looking. You remember when I was talking to you about that stuff? I was like, man, like the YouTube experience is different. I used to be able to find so much obscure stuff. That's what made YouTube so dope. And now it's all, you got to scroll so far to find somebody dropping some dope stuff.
Well, the same company. So it's just, that portion of the company was a little slower on the censorship part of it, and that's all that is, you know.
Facts.
Two largest search engines on the planet. Well, at least I don't know if on the planet. That's what they like to state, but that's really just United States. I don't know what's going on with, you know,
China, big China, and
yes. So, you know, we get skewed information from the regular media. So if you really want to know something, tune in to This Ain't That Network.
Man, facts.
And do your research, man. Like, we tell you something, question everything means question everything. If it come out of my mouth, you need to make sure that it's correct.
Facts.
But I know in my heart of hearts that I'm not saying anything incorrect, and I will check myself if I'm corrected.
Facts. With facts.
Yes.
You know, and it is up to us to, you know, people say, well, I was a kid and I liked sugar. Well, that doesn't make it right.
Right.
If you grew up on heroin and you later found out that, remember, because they used to have heroin and everything back in the day, and you later found out that it was poison, right? You should not then give that to your kids because that was your experience. You should be able to find a way to explain to your kids, you know, that was poison and we didn't know because we were ignorant.
You don't explain to the children. You just let them experience what they get. Like when they want something sweet, and go to a whole food, like they said, like a fruit, you know what I mean?
Correct.
And
you're gonna have to explain at some point when the kid starts watching those TV commercials and walking through the store and seeing other kids with the Reese cups. When that time comes, you're gonna explain to the kid. You're going to explain to the kid that we don't do that. You have to be able to explain it in a way that, because son, that is poison.
Yes.
You're poisoning your body. I remember people telling me when I was in high school, like, man, if you stop eating all that BS, going to the fast food restaurant while I was being an athlete and drinking pop, and it was athletes like, man, if I was your age and I had stopped doing all of that, Self, could you imagine what you were dunking at 5'7", 5'8", off the tip and that, but could you imagine if you're eating all whole foods and only, I'm talking about 17 at the peak.
I'd have been, it is what it is.
It is what it is, but could you imagine?
Yeah, it would have gave me a extra.
Mind everything.
Yeah.
And that's what the Michael Jordans and the Karl Malone started saying. Remember? They started saying, when I got to that point where I wanted to go for that chip and I start taking care of my body.
Right. That's the man. They were all.
Imagine if AI went out partying. What's that?
I said they were all in the league before they decided that.
Correct.
Man.
And those of us who may not be as blessed athletically, that's an advantage we can control right there.
Could have been more blessed athletically if ate correctly, period.
That's an advantage you would have had over other kids.
Man. Yeah.
The ones who can naturally dunk, who can drink anything they want, drink pop, do this and do that. Yeah, that's the advantage you would have had over them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but production, if we can just roll into the next one in the series. And this is Big Tobacco. And then we're going to wrap it up and tell you guys which one, in our opinions, which ones we think are the most detrimental to the Black community.
We are made of proteins and by proteins. Cells in our body change constantly because of them.
Thanks.
But how do they work so quickly and so accurately? Scientists thought they had the answers, but that was until Stephen Benkovic turned the understanding of protein chemistry on its head.
We're a religious channel. Get funny.
Stephen Benkovic was born in Orange, New Jersey, near the end of the Great Depression. His interest in chemistry was sparked at an early age.
Sparked.
Growing up, I was the terror of the neighborhood because I was the scientist in the sense of who made the gunpowder explosives?
Oh, boy.
Who shot rockets at the school windows? Who made hydrogen in the basement of his house? And so, of course, my poor parents received a lot of telephone calls.
He also loved literature and went on to study that and chemistry at Lehigh University.
I always was able to do some reading while my organic chemistry pots were cooking and I was making some kind of product. And I tried to always mix in my literature with my science.
These literary abilities would come in
call
handy.
our kids crazy.
After
They call their
receiving
kids
his
scientists.
PhD in organic chemistry from Cornell, Benkovic helped launch the field of bioorganic chemistry by co-writing 2 pioneering books, the first major works on the subject. Then in 1965, Benkovic became a professor at Penn State. There he began his lifelong study of enzymes, the powerful proteins that orchestrate chemical reactions. He wanted to know how they work so quickly and so accurately. To test for answers, he chose a DNA polymerase, an enzyme that copies a long strand of DNA, as his pet.
Toggle
to
that,
me,
so
these
see where we
polymerases
at.
were just absolutely amazing enzymes. Here now is a protein that makes a mistake once out of every 10 million times.
Okay.
And how fast does it copy the DNA? Once a second? No, the answer is it copies 500 bases every second.
Until this time, scientists believed that a very small part of an enzyme, called its active site, was where all chemical reactions took place. So when looking for diseases and developing drugs, they focused only on those sites. But Benkovic suspected that there must be some role for the large remainder of the molecule. So with his team, he set out to prove it.
What we started to make were some of our enzymes with these mutations in them. And to our amazement, what we found was that the changes had a great effect on what was happening at the active site.
Benkovic showed, for the first time, that the entire protein mattered. It was a profound insight that forever changed the way scientists view enzyme-based chemical reactions.
Now it's obvious that you want to start to think about developing drugs that work outside the active site that could impede the motion of the enzyme.
For disease hunters and drug designers, Benkovic's work has opened the door to a whole new class of pharmaceuticals, able to target diseases like cancer in ways never before.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, production. The one before that, what was that? Nicotine is like heroin?
What the hell is this? Hold on.
Yeah. Trust me, production, I know it's jumpy. I don't know what the hell be going on when I was doing it yesterday. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, because it didn't
the experience.
it didn't even stay in the
no, that's what it does. Yeah. Yeah, the experience is different.
The playlist.
Trust me, I know. It's almost like something be back there hacking you while you're back there doing what you're doing.
I mean, it completely went to a different video.
Yeah. Yeah. Small ups to the spooks. Small ups. So what's going on? Let's get him unmuted and get some hubbub from him. This is hubbub time, Jimi Hendrix. Give us some hubbub here. Give us some filler space. You're on.
Hey, I'm always here ready and willing to spit what I gotta say. Stay on time, because I don't need to get on time. You know what you need.
That's facts. We're trying this new speaker view. We're going to try this out for the second half of the show and see how that looks for production. Something Self and I have been, contemplating for quite some time, brother. But yes, Silverdale, bro, that is a gem. That's right. And the proof of our control will be when that sign comes down that says Riverdale. And when that sign says Silverdale, whether I'm in my casket or not, that's going to be the sign, the time, bro, that everybody's going to know. Oh, the Silverbacks are riding again.
I like to go back. I grew up in Harvey, right around the corner. So
yes, sir.
I got just want to go back because that's where I'm from. I strolled through Silverdale, a number of times, as a young guy, just getting my license, doing what I do.
Yeah, me too. Hey, bro, remember you had to be careful in Silverdale. You had to slow down when you was on Halsted coming through Silverdale Riverdale, because they was looking to write you a ticket. Remember that?
Yeah, not as tough as Phoenix, but
yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, it was Phoenix. You're right. It was Phoenix, boy. Phoenix will get you. Yep, it was Phoenix, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I got love to the land back home, Midwest.
Man. Those was good times, man. Good times. But yeah, that's so for the Self Love Nation, that's gonna be the symbol. That's gonna be the symbol, and you guys know those son of a bitches did it. So I'm gonna find the clip as we, go through this, and I'm gonna send it to you. It's a clip on Family Guy. I don't want to describe it. I'll get it out there. But production, if you're ready, just whenever you're ready, and you guys like, share, subscribe, share.
Which one were we?
Well, that's what I was about to ask, because I know we did Nicotine is like heroin, so I think we're on The Secret is Out, the tobacco industry is targeting. I think that's the one we're on. I don't think we watched that one. It's a 1:38 video. So it's
okay.
Yes. Right. Pretty sure that's where we're at. And if not, that's where we're going to be.
Right. That's where we're at. Man.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be where we're at. That's it. And we got this new speaker view going on here, but I don't know if that's affecting. Let me look at the show and see, because I see
I'm watching it. It's cool.
Okay.
With my light going out, I'm outside.
Hey, you look good out there, bro. You look good out there.
Trying to do what I can. If you don't do nothing.
We don't try around here, Jimi Hendrix. The only thing we're trying is stop saying try.
I let you in on a secret. You might be able to figure it out on your own, but not everyone does. Over the years, many have bought into it without even knowing.
The world's most thoroughly smoked. Menthol cigarettes with a taste that's right.
They tell us stories to make us feel good. Time goes by, people change, but it's still there. The same old story. It might just look different.
Just think about what she's saying.
They even try to make it sound like they have healthier alternatives. They use unseen strategies with dark agendas. And every year, 8 million people enter an early grave. But the real secret is that it doesn't end there. The industry persists. It grows aggressively, like the diseases it causes. And every year, it creates 8 million new gaps in the market. And it doesn't care who fills them. Even if it's
someone like me.
The tobacco industry is targeting children and adolescents to replace the 8 million people their products kill each year. Speak out. Tobacco exposed.
Hey, they're gonna encourage you to have more and more babies so they can kill more and more and make money off. It's the paradox. It's the big tobacco paradox, bro.
Man, facts.
They want you to smoke it until you die. It's like, bro, if we were fish in an aquarium, you know how they say fish will eat food until they pop, don't overfeed them. Yes.
They want you to smoke it until you die and pass it on to your children
Yes.
as you smoke it till you die, and they pass it to their children.
Yes.
We need to boycott it.
Die.
That's we need to boycott that. You know, I smoke tobacco, and I want to be the first to stand up to boycott this.
Well, you know, I'll accept your challenge. You know, I got tobacco right here, but we're going to get into that towards the end of the show, and I appreciate you doing that. And you know, and I do want to know where you're going with that. But on a macro scale, you know, I'm moving away from boycotts. You know, kind of like the way Jay-Z said, we're moving away from kneeling. You know, there's a time and there's a place, you know, for that. But I know you're talking about personally and as a nation. But as far as I'm pushing education and people making the proper decisions. That's because, you know, it becomes really tough, you know, when you're telling kings and citizens of the universe what to do and what not to do. So I'm a firm believer in what you're talking about now, leading from the front, because just know everything you do, you're handing that off like a, what word am I looking for? Like a relay race. You're handing that baton stick right there to the generation behind you. You're handing it right to them. Yeah. So I'm with you, and I have a way. That works. It's a step-by-step process. That's what it's called. I've been working it internally, and you know, we're going to present this theory. I took some stuff I got off TED Talk and put it through the 9-ometer, did my own analytics and personal meditation, and come up with a way that anyone can do anything that one wants to do in a step-by-step process. Whether you're adding to something or quitting to something. And it is so simple. And at this point, it's broken down so simply that it's just a matter of want to. Yeah. And once we can identify that you don't want to do this, then, well, anything else is a waste of time. You know?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. If you're going to teach me how to fish, Jimi Hendrix, right? I'm hungry. My family's starving. And you know how to fish. You taught your kids how to fish, and your wife and everybody's doing what it takes, right? And you say, "Man, I'm gonna show you how to fish. Well, I don't have time. You know, I'm busy. I'm hungry." All right. Well, and you say tomorrow, we're just gonna walk down to the lake. Can you do that? And if I can't just walk down to the lake with you tomorrow, you should never give me another fish. You should watch me. Not watch me, but you should leave me to my own hunger and starvation. That's where we're at. That's where Silverdale's going. One step at a time, step by step. You're either moving in one direction, or you're laying stagnant, or you're moving in another direction. So, anything on that, one of you guys? Because I know we want to move into the next segment.
Pretty much covered that one out there.
Okay. Well, production, I think we're going to roll into how tobacco brainwashed out the out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Before I go start to play, like, share, subscribe. Let's do what we got to do, y'all. Let's grow this thing.
More growth and development.
All day, every day.
We live in a world of military secrecy, a world where large, powerful corporations create bodies of ignorance deliberately.
Facts. And please listen to this. I won't talk through it. I'm going to hit mute right now.
Years ago at Harvard, and I noticed that cigarettes were the leading preventable cause of death in the United States and the world more generally. I started realizing that the tobacco industry was deliberately creating ignorance through what I call distraction research. They were massive funders of research into everything but cigarettes causing cancer. And actually, at least 25 Nobel laureates have taken money from big tobacco, and they essentially brainwashed the public to that effect. And that's why we still have 6 trillion cigarettes smoked worldwide every year.
Keep everybody working on other shit.
Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
Cigarettes and nicotine clearly do not meet the classic definitions of addiction. There is no intoxication.
We'll take that as a no.
Snake oil salesman. Same people that was pushing snake oil. There they go.
As I realized this was a template for denial of all kinds of harms. You know, the Lead Institute says that lead doesn't cause brain harm. You know, the Global Climate Coalition says that climate change is a myth and a fantasy. So the tobacco denial framework, that distraction research, that decoy research, that became a template for lots of other powerful industries to deny that they're causing harm. And so that's why we say big oil is the,
they'd rather do
is
that
the new
with the
big
money.
tobacco.
Instead of feed the hungry, healthcare, they'd rather do that with the money, the corporations.
We live in a world of ignorance. Ours is, in fact, I call it golden age of ignorance. We live in a world where misinformation spreads at the speed of light.
Ignorant.
And no one was studying this. If you have something like Twitter or something like Facebook, where you can buy information and buy advertising and actually buy page ranks and manipulate page rank and plant stories, it becomes much cheaper, much easier for a few bad actors to have an enormous influence. And it's not just by a few bad actors like big tobacco or big oil, but now governments of all kinds and all kinds of other bad actors. I think we need organized resistance against the distributors of big misinformation. And that's a lot of that can be done just by shining light on it.
Big misinformation. Big misinformation. So they take their money, part of their profits, and spend it on other scientists and the talented ones of us who would, if we had enough time to sit around and, hey, why doesn't somebody do a study on big tobacco? Why doesn't somebody do a study on that? because it's not being funded. Because it's easy for you to get funded doing other studies. Real easy. There's a lot of money out there for that. There's a lot of money for that. Did you know everybody's doing that? And they put little agents at the colleges, little agents here and there, and you filter you that way. They all work for these industries.
Facts.
Allegedly. Right?
Facts.
Allegedly. Because they got enough money to get some jackass to sue us, even though we have nothing compared to them. That's what the type of money they have. But instead of paying money to do studies on, really telling people, about how many max cigarettes they can smoke, instead of doing studies on how they can take out some of those poisons and sell it more natural and not make it as addictive, and realize that more people would probably smoke if it wasn't killing as many people, and they'd probably still end up making the same amount of money in the long run.
Yeah. Facts. I mean, because people are going to smoke, and if they don't die from it, then they're going to probably smoke.
Right.
So
But when
set it up to kill them, then you're replacing the income, but you're not growing, right? They said they're replacing the 8 million,
yes,
or billion, or whatever
conundrum.
that's dying.
Do you think they could be a tool of population control? I'm sorry,
they
big
are,
population control?
100%.
How about Big Sugar? You think they all at some point at those Bilderberg, I don't want to say it all on here, but at some of those,
Yes.
hidden conferences, that these are some of the things they discuss?
100%.
Hear the trace that the
You-
duo come up.
Do you think do you think in Silverdale we'll be able to maybe have our own sit downs with people and do our own thing?
Absolutely.
That'd be nice for Silverdale. Do that annually. Yeah. Bring all the thinkers and doers, right? Yeah. Coming in. Look at that. Self Love's walking in. Who's going in? Oh, that's P. Diddy. Look at that. You know what I mean? Look at that. Yeah, we don't know if P. Diddy will be in there. We haven't said exactly. No. See what Self Love says? He thinks P. Diddy is probably the WS Baphomet.
Hey, I question everything. So, like somebody that's attained that much, it would have to be a lot of offline before it was a Silverdale. And no, I don't know. Could be an investment into Silverdale. I guess I couldn't look beyond that, but it would have to be some clear examination.
You're saying he doesn't have a golden ticket just because he's P. Diddy. It's nothing you've really seen from him that makes you say, oh yeah, this guy's gets a golden ticket.
No.
Would you feel a little bit better about, say, Nas? Would that have been a better example to throw out there at you? Oh, look, wow, Nas is showing up. Or do you kind of still feel the same way?
I feel the same way because the truth is all this celebrity and, great music is great music, but there's been some real dicks that made some fantastic music. You know what I mean? And then there's been some extraordinary people that have not made as such great music. So,
so he doesn't get Nas doesn't get a golden ticket. He doesn't get a golden ticket. Well, what about Rashid? Most of you guys might know him as Common. Does he get a free pass? I'm talking about you just show up. You know what I mean? Does he get a pass? I'm gonna throw other names out. Minister Farrakhan, can they just show up? Hey, these are questions we're gonna have to answer. It's Silverdale.
We need silverbacks, and and they have to be clarified and shown as clear and through a conversation mainly.
And we all have to discuss. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes,
it has to be, so nobody gets a golden ticket as far as I'm concerned. It has to be a conversation. If we're going in as an organization to be organized, can't be just walk in. I mean, there's no, we don't do with that.
Let me try to think. There's got to be somebody that's shown themselves. You look up and you say,
with this situation, it needs to be part of it that no one gets that. They,
I feel you, bro.
Everybody go through the same thing because we're silverbacks, and that's part of the process.
That's ultimately your celebrity doesn't matter. That's what you're saying.
Period. Yeah. Now, if you want to, invest in the situation, not trying to become you know, a part of it, then that's a whole different conversation. You
We'll
know what I
take your
mean?
money, but not your honey.
I mean, unless you want to deal with the, you know, conversation we need to have, and that's all it is to figure out if you
Oh
need to
yeah,
be
it's
a
gonna be
part of this.
silverback conversation all day. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you know
so
we're not gonna bite our tongue around you because
right,
you have a certain lifestyle or a certain
right,
right
level of
because
something
you
or another, you know.
right. Yeah, because you got commitments to the WS Baphomet, may or may not. Right.
So,
Right. Those commitments have nothing to do with Silverdale and what Silverdale is about. You know, we're about, you know, feeding our people and not throwing them to the Baphomet. We're about having programs where it's not, Self, we've gotten to a point in society is why didn't DCSF do something about it? No, no, no. DCSF is the state. The state is the KKK pretty much. And that whole system is set up. Self Love just showed us 600,000 people come up missing. You know, that whole system is set up. Man. And then we're such bastards. I always say we, that then some of these kids end up being, you know, the ones that try to carjack and then somebody dies and then we say lock them up and kill them, you know, and you know, it takes a tribe, Self. You know, it takes a tribe. I mean, we're at a point as a society where, God forbid, if your children didn't have functional parenting, that for the most part, our go-to is call the police and call DCSF, call these race soldiers and do that. That's our go-to. It's not, hey, self-love, you know, I love you. And, you know, baby mom, you know, I love you, you know, and you know what I mean? And we can do better and we're here for you. And look, go through what you go through like it used to be, you know, go through what you go through and you know what I mean? And then we'll help with the money and we'll send the kids to a grandparent or another.
Grandma.
But we'll all chip in. It's not just
Yes.
grandma,
No,
yeah.
I mean, she
I
would
hear
take
you.
them.
No, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying this for the people who are listening. Yes, grandma, yes, possibly, but not necessarily just her, but usually her because she's got a home. But if she does take them, the family chips in money, you know what I mean, to help, you know, because when it becomes, you know, society should have did something in DCSF, something's wrong. And that's not Silverdale. That's not going to be Silverdale. No. You know what I'm talking about, Self? The kid who's in the house trying to feed her whole family, and everybody's sitting around saying somebody should do something about it, and somebody should call these race soldiers.
The community would got to deal with that. Like, as soon as
Correct.
we know that, everybody just, you know, it ain't no
Correct.
calling nobody.
No.
We deal with some oversight and some things that are needed. Whatever the food is, whatever is needed.
Correct.
That's all that is.
We have our own foster system. Correct.
It's provided for. Like,
correct.
We monitor that place. If there's not, you know,
correct.
Like, monitor all of it. We put somebody that's, you know, licensed and paid to oversee it if necessary. If there, you know, there's a lot of children there and there's children trying to take care
There
of
is
children.
no place. There is no place. In Silverdale, those places is going to be our homes.
Right.
There's no institution for our kids. Those places are going to be our homes.
Right.
So the adults are going to be trained how to handle these situations from those people you're talking about, the counselors, you know, and it's going to be the family members. There's not going to be a place, you know, because then you end up with people taking advantage, you know.
The place I was speaking of was the home.
Correct.
For lack of a better term. I was
Yes,
thinking about we put people in there if necessary just to oversee, not, you know, make sure that they doing what they're supposed
I
to
see
do.
what you're saying.
Workers.
In the home that they're already in. I got you.
Yes.
Yes. Great strategy.
You know what I mean?
Great strategy. Somebody who lives with somebody who's already trained, right? Yes, who can now have a place here. Yes, you're right. That's great strategy. And this is why we have these dialogues. You know, this is why we have these dialogues, bro. Man,
make sure
that's brilliant.
Yeah, make sure that, you know, we got in-home help for a whole lot of other situations. It's another situation that needs to be, you know.
Facts.
We need to make sure who it is and, you know, vet
Facts.
them to the highest degree.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Make sure they're from our community.
Facts.
And they are going to do them the right by them. And you know.
So
and
that means we make sure that they're attending their required adult Saturday school.
whatever is required.
Because
they gonna deal
ignorance is no longer an excuse. Ignorance will not be an excuse in Silverdale, Self.
No, not when you don't have to be ignorant. I don't want to be ignorant. I'm so ignorant.
Well, no, that's why that's something something Creamer says all the time. You know, we have to be in charge of our own damn affairs, man.
Period.
You know,
point blank, ain't no other way around that.
Man, we have to be in charge of our affairs, bro. And you know, when he said that, and that's the bottom line, man. And so, yeah, we'll have adult Saturday school if you want to be part of the collective, right? You know, we understand you're an adult, and from time to time you're an adult. You know, we get that. But no, if you got something, this is here where we're gonna sit down. You know, we can't force you to really go to church. I mean, you know, everybody doesn't want to talk about that, right? We got a lot of scientists, people who believe in science. They believe in happenstance, as Self Luv likes to call it, you know?
The happenstance theory.
They pray to the God of happenstance, you know what I mean?
My doctoral work.
Yes. Yes, it's going to be funded by the Self Luv Show. You know what I mean? Yes, it's yes. You know, is this guy, is he muted, or did you ask him to unmute?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. I ain't want got a whole lot going on in my background right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, no, that's cool. That's cool. We'll then if we mute you, then we're gonna stop your video on top of it. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. All right. So let's see. And then the only reason we're asking you to unstop it is that way when things are better for you, you can, you know, do your thing. So let's see here. Where are we, Self? You know where we are in the sequence here?
This is the best way to quit smoking.
Wait a minute. Wait. No. Okay, yeah, that's on the video, but hold on a second, bro. All right. You're in the right place, but give me a second. Yes, I see that. How to quit smoking. And then what the hell happened? All right. You know what I don't have on here? Before you do that, we did have a segment set up that's not on our page here. And so if we go to close up here, well, I got it on speaker view, so it should be all right now. But we got Nine's 9 things you didn't know about big tobacco. This is Nine's 9 things you didn't know about big tobacco. Number 1, every pull from a cigarette is 7,000 chemicals, 69 carcinogens. Every pull. You're inhaling 7,000 chemicals, 69 of them being cancer causing. Like, what diabolical entity would know this? And for what reason would be allowed legally to exist? Number 2, tobacco grows anywhere, and I emphasize anywhere. But yet we pay $13 a pack and buy their poisons because we like the poisons. It's the poisons that we enjoy. They got us hooked to the poisons. But anyway, tobacco grows anywhere on this planet except for the North and the South Poles. Alrighty. Number 3, ads, TV shows, films, big Hollywood. Not only did they normalize poison smoking, they actually glorified poison smoking. Alrighty. Number 4, Philip Morris is the largest producer of tobacco products. They earn over $176 billion annually. That is a blob. So number 5, how did they get that money, Self Luv? Philip Morris' secret ingredient as they came up is or was, you have to double check this, but it was definitely was, ammonia. That was their big secret. Ammonia, ladies and gentlemen. If you have ammonia in your house, read it, and you're smoking it.
Google
right?
it if you don't.
Yeah, or Google it. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, number 6. Now, tobacco costs the United States taxpayers. Okay, everybody don't want to pay reparations, and they don't want to pay for nobody who don't work, and they need to get off their ass, and they need to get off their ass, and everybody need to get off their ass while they sitting there puffing on a fucking cigarette. Okay, tobacco costs the United States taxpayers $300 billion annually. They broke that down. They said due to death, missed work, and lower productivity, because it leads to greater illness, like flus and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, number 7. Big Philip Morris invented the e-cigarette science. That's right. They're behind the whole thing. They're allegedly rumored to have conducted CAP, meaning fake trials, to get approval for the item, marketing it as less dangerous than cigarette smoking, all the while knowing that is in fact more dangerous than cigarette smoking, and getting that to your children.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. All right. So, all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
You're at 8.
Okay. Number 8. Nicotine is, which we've discovered, as addictive as heroin and coke. The number 1, ding, 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 9 things you didn't know about big tobacco. Squares, or cigarettes. Squares have the exact same. Y'all like science out there. You pray to the God of happenstance. Cigarettes, you're sitting there smoking on a cigarette right now. Cigarettes have the same chemical components as, drum roll please, urine. That's right. Piss. That's right. Urea. Urea is literally used as an additive along with tar, carbon monoxide, and arsenic. What, like Self Love was saying earlier, what FDA, and I cut him off, I know where he's coming from. The reason I cut him off is because we're silverbacks, and we both all know that we're not counting on that. Silverdale isn't counting on that, and we're all about family and local, but he's right.
I just wanted to state the obvious and why we feel the way we feel. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of people don't see what's right in front of their face a lot of times. They can't see the trees for the forest. You know what I mean? So,
facts. Go ahead, man.
Sometimes you got to just explain what is going on. And these are huge problems for our community. They decimate both of them.
Man.
And now looking, we're not all the way done, so I might change my way a little bit after I see some more tobacco, but right now I'm leaning towards sugar, because we give that to babies. Nobody's handing out cigars or putting tobacco in the baby's mouth.
Man, and you've said that, and then so did Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
I had this conversation at the Sage store, earlier, and that's what the Sage tender said. That exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a parent. We'll get into my opinion of that towards the end, but production and Self Love, you guys, we're going to go into the next series here, and we're going to give you solutions. We're a solutions-based show, and then we're going to talk about how to quit these things. So I want to go into the step-by-step program. I don't know if Jimi Hendrix is able to, as he was just talking about, he wanted to make some sort of commitment here towards his, personal health and personal enjoyment on this planet. So, the step-by-step program that we're drumming up, so to speak, is quite frankly simple. So, I, started running, and the first day I ran 1 block. Second day I ran 2 blocks. Day 3 I ran 3 blocks. This all started with the push-ups. I was doing the push-ups, and then was ever eating the chips or got the bag going, go ahead and press your mute button for us. I appreciate that. So now we're doing the. I was doing 1 push-up, one a day, and then the next day I did 2, and the next day I did 3. So now I'm doing, multiple push-ups, every other day. I've worked myself up, and just by adding 1 simple push-up over, X amount of time. Right now, Self Love and I and another brother, we're using the same strategy. I said strategy for sit-ups. We started with 1 sit-up. Today is day 20, so it's going to be 20 sit-ups. Now, it may not sound like a lot, but, eventually we'll be on day 365. We've done 365 sit-ups. Now, this goes into the step-by-step program. Well, how would this work? Well, we postulate you can do that in reverse. So if you're smoking, say, 15 cigarettes a day, we'll say this. If you're smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, which is 20, you could say to yourself, okay, the first month, I'm going to drop down to 19 cigarettes a day. You have to be conscious. 19 cigarettes, you got to be conscious. In the second month, you can say, or week, depending on how fast you want to do it, but you got to be conscious. Now it's going to be 18 a day because you're doing it. You're doing it. And then the next month or the next week, it's going to be 17 a day. You got to be conscious. You got to be committed. You got to be paying attention. You got to be focused. You got to be focused, right? And what's happening is you're changing your lifestyle. You're changing it gradually. You're changing your routines gradually. So now you're whittling your routine from, 20 cigarettes a day to 16 a day. And then now it's 15 and so forth. Now you've gotten it down to 10. Look at you. Look at you. Now you've gotten it down to 8. And it might be some time, but at least you're working towards something, And I would suggest that you do that. If you're doing cigarettes, I would say do it a week. Every week. Decrease your number of cigarettes by 1. And if you're smoking 2 packs a day, you'll be through smoking in a year's time. Now, another way you can quit anything that I've done that works, you have to fast. When you fast, you're moving away from big sugar. It's going to take 72 hours. You're going to fast. And when you fast, your brain, all of that reward, all of that. I'm about to get something. Something's about to happen. Oh, I'm about to get something in my brain. All of that in this matrix. When you fast, all of that cuts off. Now, when you fast, then you have to use the cold turkey method. Yes. When you're not eating, you don't care about a cigarette. You don't. Your priority is gonna be on the food. It's gonna be on the food. So you're gonna be dealing with that. Don't smoke. And when you come out of this fast, breakfast. When you break the fast, just don't smoke again. That works as well. So those are the techniques. Now, me, I'm going to combine them both, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying it right here on the Self Love Nation. I'm going to combine both techniques in order to quit smoking. And when I say smoking, I'm talking about all forms of smoke. All forms of smoke. So what's going to happen is, over X amount of time, because I don't answer questions, volunteer information. The devil's in the details. Small ups to W.S. Baphomet. I don't do any of those things. But if X number, I'm doing X number, right? Over X amount of time, I'll be doing Y number daily. And over Z amount of time, and over X amount of time, that'll eventually become Z number daily, so forth and so forth. And then when I get to the point where it's whittled down to something that's extremely reasonable, I'll do the 3-day method, close it out. So that's the technique. Jimi Hendrix, are you on board? Are you on board, Jimi Hendrix? Are you on board, or do you want to keep that pink man's penis in your mouth? Continue to step away from family and your loved ones because you're too ashamed to have your kids see you succumb to the trauma of the pink man and, show weakness. Hey, and I'm talking to myself, Jimi Hendrix. Trust me. I'm talking to myself. You know what I mean?
What truth is.
Right. It is, bro. Yeah.
3
Yeah. But
head knockers.
Yeah. Yes, 3 head knockers. Yeah. So they understand truth is what truth is. And self-love and one thing about this show is it's a movement, Jimi Hendrix. I told self-love, I'm not gonna be on this globe longer. So why not, challenge it? Do it my way. Take it all the way to the top, Jimi Hendrix. You know what I mean? Get out there, start running. Take this thing, take my avatar, everything to a whole nother level, right? And get out there and, regulate.
You're going to start hooping again.
Bro, it's funny you said that, man. You know how you do your pantomime hoop, right?
Yeah.
I've never stopped that. Bro, I was in the mirror today. I did the pantomime hoop. I was like, ooh, yeah. I was like,
running, if you're out there running, I don't see why you wouldn't, man.
Yeah, I did the pantomime. And you remember I stopped hooping at 30. So I didn't get a lot of damage to my joints and my bones. You remember I started busting up my ankles and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, gotta be tired out there.
Yeah.
And he was out there when they didn't want to play defense and wanted to complain about you playing defense out there.
Yeah. You want to run up and down and call crap and just run up and yeah.
So,
Playing about defense. So
I understand. I understand.
Yeah, so Jimi Hendrix. What say ye, bro? What say ye, bro? We got a challenge. I'll put your squares up to my blunts. All right. And we'll decide on back channels, and then we'll make an announcement, the time frame where the world will see that these are lessons and not lectures, right? And we walk it like we talkie, right? We'll choose a time frame,
Well,
where we do.
Cold turkey, they got the higher percent, you say.
They say. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, I heard it from you, but they say I'm higher percent is cold turkey, so I believe in that. And when I'm ready, that's gonna be what it is. If it's a challenge, then you be ready to do what you say.
Well, I told you the method I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That method wasn't up for debate, You know what I mean? So that's the method I'm using. I'm using the step-by-step method, all right? Because I find that it's the routine, it's the lifestyle. I've heard self-love say it, you know what I mean? If he puts water in his cup, it's no different than beer or what have you in your cup. It's the routine, so this theory on step by step is, now you're doing a lifestyle. First you got out there, you ran a half block, next thing you know, you're running a block. Next thing you know, you're up to a mile. Next thing you know, now you're saying, let me increase the speed on this mile. Next thing you know, you're saying, man, let me sign up for a 3K run. Next thing you know, you're meeting somebody and you're running a marathon. Next thing you know, you're sitting there and somebody's like, who's this brother? And you're doing business deals with these people. This is how the fractal works, bro. Mm-hmm. But none of that can happen. Me puffing on, sage rolled and cigar tobacco, you know, and vice versa. But you go ahead and do your thing, bro. I would suggest, though, if you're going to use the cold turkey method, fast first, 3 days. During that fast, do not smoke. I know for a fact that works for me. That's how I stopped as far as the squares. That's how I did it. Yeah. I had no desire for it. You know, my focus on a minute-to-minute basis was on food and the hunger pain.
Substance.
Yes, sustenance, basic sustenance. Yep. And bro, when you have any craving, if you sit there and you really think about it, it always lasts less than a minute, and at max it's 30 seconds. So any craving, if you rationalize it like that, you don't get in your car and start heading out to the store to buy a pack. Any craving is only 30 seconds. So during that 30 seconds, that's when everything counts. So you got to be focused. And you got to realize that it's just 30 seconds. And then guess what? As time goes by, that 30 seconds is going to become 25 seconds. It's going to become 20 seconds. It's going to become 15 seconds. And guess what? At the same time, the frequency of those cravings, the number of cravings per day, it's going to start decreasing. It's going to, even the longer you get away from smoking, you might have a craving, man, once a year. Man, for some reason you saw somebody smoking, you're like, man, I want to smoke a cigarette. Now you know, oh, that's only 10 seconds. You know what it is for what it is. And that same thing works with anything, you know what I mean? So just throwing that out there, bro. So you're saying me be ready when I be ready? I'll let you know. I already know. I already know what I'm on. This program I'm on to stop the saging. I already know what I'm on. I'll tell the Self Love Nation when I'm starting to fast. So I'm using both techniques. You know, I'm changing the lifestyle up. You know what I mean? You know, little by little. Pretty soon I'll be down to X number a day. Now it's going to make it so much easier when I go ahead and fast. You know, I'm not going from X number to 0, you know, because it's the lifestyle that has to change. Bro, right now I'm so used to smoking and working and smoking and using that for certain creative energies. And you understand what I'm saying? So that's not going to change overnight. Yes, I can stop overnight smoking, but then it's going to leave such a quick vacuum that I'm less likely to now be able to deal with the urges. Correct. I've stopped cold turkey before. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to use that method this time.
I hear you. I stopped cold turkey myself. That's why I believe I can. And you speak power to me to do it. You know, I look forward tomorrow as being listening to the show said, hey, I'm not sitting here smoking Black and Miles.
Right.
Man. And you know what? And then we got to add another thing to our motivations. We're financing white supremacy. You know, we literally know that they designing that and putting it in our neighborhoods and adding extra poison in certain packages that come to certain places. And we do it to ourselves in that sense.
A lot of addictive and learned behavior.
Yeah, and it started through trauma, man. You know, it started through trauma, and that's how those around us were dealing with trauma. You know, and so, like you said, learned behavior, and then it's addictive. Exactly. Yeah. And if you think about it, so back to what you guys were saying to wrap it up, back to which is more dangerous, and that was in my summary. Sugar is more dangerous on every level, but it's more dangerous because we have no problems eating sugar and doing sugar stuff in front of kids.
Man, giving it to them.
Yes.
As infants.
Yes. Yes. At celebrations, at everything good. Halloween, Easter, Christmas, everything good. Family reunions.
Infants, every meal. Infants.
Every meal for infants.
Meal.
You mean in that milk?
And if it ain't natural breast milk,
they putting sugar in it.
Yes.
Get out of here, Self. Don't tell me they got sucrose in canned milk.
Man, look at it.
Wow.
It's the only thing that can make the chemicals palatable.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
The powders, the cans.
And think about on real talk, why most women don't breastfeed. Give me an honest answer.
They talking about their breasts.
That's what you hear. I hear that they want to get back to putting poisons in their body, and they care so much about the baby that they'd rather get a baby milk. So it's quick for them to start drinking again as soon as they push that baby out. Quick for them to start smoking again and eating all types of BS, and that's the excuse I hear.
Well, that's crazy because the science, if you want to deal with science, the science says that children that suck the titty, for lack of a better term, are much more intelligent, have a much more connection with people on the planet, have a better understanding of their place in the universe.
They're more manageable.
Yeah, I mean, they are like, they have a much more connection. It's like,
they don't have that ADD and all that, a lot of that stuff. They don't have the what do you call them? The allergies. They don't get all of that.
Nestle pushed that, you said. Nestle.
What, the canned milk?
Nestle Water Corporation promoted Similac.
Yeah. Yes. And basically it's promoted to get the sheep back out there on the track, drinking poison and sugaring it up, and smoking tobacco and, whatever drugs you're on. And that's what it's all about. It's about not making that sacrifice. So, and it's easy for me to say, right, sitting here, but most women, they'll stop doing those poisons. It makes them sick a lot of times when they're pregnant, and they'll stop doing it when they're pregnant. And we're talking about young women. So most of them want to get back out there to the club, get back out there and start doing what they were doing. And they love their babies. And they know if they start popping those pills and doing this and that, it's going to be in that milk.
Yeah. But they need to know what's in the milk they buying, though.
Facts. And if you won't do it to your baby, at some point you got to say, well, shit. If what I'm saying, what you're saying, how important it is, right? So if you have to make that sacrifice longer, yes. You got to make that, women, you have to make that sacrifice through the pregnancy, big ups, and also through the milking.
That's a whole lot of programming. They started programming getting off the milk. It started when women were working and started working and becoming large in the workforce, and they just have a baby. You know what I mean? So they started to import the formula and all of that so they could get them back to work and not have that connection. Not have that connection. And the separation of families, the
ancestry
wasn't able to stay home and just deal with the family.
The mom's not as connected to the baby. That's all part of the bonding. That's all part of the bonding process.
Right.
The baby's not as connected to the mom either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You're sticking a bottle in there and the baby's laying there sucking on a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, if it's okay if you, it's better if you pump the milk, because that's a situation where
correct.
The actual milk is the most important part of it. What it is.
Well, physically, they're both important.
Both
but I agree.
are.
I agree, Self. I agree with that. With that. And I was going to say, even if there is a solution, even if you don't want to sacrifice and mess your breasts up and all this and that, whatever your thing is, as a woman, I would think, because I'm a solutionist. I bet before these chemicals, you had women who produce extra milk. Like you said, you can pump and you can store. You pump and you store and you get milk from other people who aren't doing this, certified places. And we can get milk for these babies, but we're not getting them the devil's milk anymore. Exactly. If you're going to get provided milk from Silverback, you're going to best believe that this milk is came from where? A human.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Period. Yeah. Now the problem is the devil says, well, we can't store that long. We can't profit as much, under natural stuff. So it's better if we do. That's fine. But we do everything locally here, right here in Silverdale. Self. We do everything locally. So the milk's there. It's in women. We have a list of women who are already pregnant. And they understand we're going to need you to pump some of this out. All our pregnant women. We need you to, the clean ones. We need you to pump out X amount. You know what I mean? Seriously, hey man, X amount and give it to the collective.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, bro. You can't have a solution by not, doing it. Sounds weird, but what's more weird? Canned milk from a cow?
Well, back when we had to, like, that's what happened with Massa's children.
We were milking them, weren't we? So there was, yeah.
They were feeding off,
our milk. Yeah.
Yes. Period.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Raised by him in a lot of cases.
And to this day, I don't think a lot of them pink kids love their moms or have had a lot of respect for them a lot of times.
They've got a whole different cultural bonding period, because things that they'll say to their mom is, not on concert or vibration with what we would.
True. And so anybody who catches it, definitely make sure you guys put in the comments as you watch the video, this video, which one that you think is worse and why. We'd love to start seeing some comments in there, right? Self Love.
Absolutely. It will help us, most definitely.
Yeah, if we knew better, we do better. So that's the main thing. If we knew better, we do better. But yeah, bro, I know we got a magnificent show planned for tomorrow, huh?
Oh yes, y'all in for a treat.
Man. And I just realized that I didn't add that to the thing. So you're going to have to refresh in a second. So give me a second. I had a video I made for the brother.
No doubt.
Let's grow the nation.
Like, share, subscribe all the time. Help us grow organically the right way. We love y'all. We thank you for your support, man. It's huge. It makes a huge amount of difference to know that we are growing a nation.
Man, step by step, person by person. So, yeah, and production, if you refresh, it should be at the bottom of your list. Yeah, exactly, Self Love, step by step, bro. Yeah, brother, Pulling 3 Club, you're going to see, man. Yeshua told me, man, I'm not waiting on nothing or nobody, bro. I'm on this path, man, and I'm going to see where it's going to take me. I'm a lot of stored energy, bro. And glory to God, I'm here and healthy.
Hold on, I'm hitting a link.
It's a funny day to be here. I'm glad to be here myself.
I'm hitting the link and it was private, and the kid from Chicago's at the bottom of the link.
Oh, okay. Let me see what's up. I thought I had made that public because it's got 23 views. It says the Self Luv Show promo BlacK achievement. Hold on, make sure I put it in the right place. Oh, hold on, so my bad. Hold on, bro. I put it on tomorrow's where it was already at. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I put it on tomorrow's, which it should have been. So at least I don't have that problem tomorrow. So now it should be on today's. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix, bro. You're going to see, man. You're going to see, bro. I'm hammering out these. So when I started doing the running, when I got up to lucky number 13, my calf locked up. So, I'm going to stand down right now. When I resume, I'll have the running shoes information. You don't know what you don't know. I'm older, younger in my mind, but older in the body. And I'm going to get out there on a track. So it's good to have, friends who are doctors. They'll remind you of basic fundamentals. And, going to get out there on a track where it's soft. And I'm going to do this running, bro. You never know. You might see me in a 5K. This guy says, sit back and smoke blunt after blunt after blunt and look at him out there. Damn, he won the motherfucker. He won the 5K. Well, you sit there and smoke cigarettes in a dark room with no lights on. Black and Miles. Black and Miles, bro. Big ups to Thornton.
Successful, and so I do what it takes to be successful.
Self, that's the Ironside thing.
When I go home, I study and do my work and go to class.
Kind of corny stuff.
Well, it works.
Tomorrow.
My ship.
Old Ironside.
Civil rights violations. But of greater concern, said the county attorney, are the results of
Best rapper alive.
Tupac.
You say he lives on.
But not alive.
Fraud.
I know. I keep doing that.
Fraud. Look at her. Who's she looking at?
Listen, West Coast girls think Tupac
Who is
lives
she
on.
looking
I'm
at?
with you. I'm with you.
Her handler.
Tupac,
Trying to
keep
save
going.
it.
I keep doing that.
That's God doing that. Maybe it's happenstance, coincidence.
He raised Lazarus from the dead.
Happenstance.
So is this 9 mills of Chi-Town. The prophet, a great prophet in a Prius.
Step by step.
By step, inch by inch, I walked up to him and I smashed him.
That's what we do to white supremacy.
I grabbed the faces and I knocked them down.
That's science, y'all. Happenstance. And we coming to get it. Everybody's starting to get a happenstance. Yeah, Everson gave. Yeah, now that the white man is giving out money, yeah, your theory is starting to make sense now, Brother Mills. And the white man tells them, yeah, they know we coming to get it, boy. They don't understand we coming to get it. Ironside. The fuck, we coming to get it. Passing out all this money like it's ice cream. Dun, dun, dun. So that's what we got, y'all. We got Ironside, my man, my brother. He's made himself quite a living out here. But mainly we're going to do Silverback talk. What we love about this brother is he still lives in the community. He lives on the south side of Chicago, however, born and bred on the north side. I'd even say northwest side. So it definitely allows this fractal to kind of expand towards that situation. We want to just get a short, brief history of his upbringing. And then, as always, we're going to jump into the foundational questions, shoot through there, and then just back and forth. We're talking Silverdale tomorrow, Brother Pullen. We're actually talking Silverdale tomorrow, bro. Great name. And you're going to be known one of the founding members, and you're going to be known as the person who came up with that name, whether it's in Riverdale or not. We can establish any corporation. Correct?
That's right.
That shit is cold, boy. That's cold. Hey, yeah, and we got to, and we got to have, is it going to be Jimi Hendrix? Nah, that might be misleading. We had to make an Andre Pullen Street. We're going to have an Andre Pullen Street. Yeah, he's the guy who came up with. We can do that when we have our own shit, Yeah. Right. We don't have to tear down their statues. We can what, Self?
Build our own.
Facts. Facts. Build our own. Facts. And that's what we're about. We've moved beyond protesting and this and that, begging Whitey for this and the third. We're going to get ours. We can walk and chew gum simultaneously, huh, Self Love?
Absolutely. Silverdale. Hey, it's coming. We might get some unincorporated area.
Hey, bear with me, both of y'all. So, yes. So you said Silverdale, right? All right. So, of course, we're going to have our own private high school. That's going to be called what?
Silverdale High.
And it's going to be the home of the what?
Silverbacks.
That's right. The home of the Silverbacks, bro.
Even,
it's gonna be
even a grammar school and everything.
Be the baby Silverbacks. Yeah, and it's gonna get bigger and bigger. In high school, he's gonna be a little older. Yes. Yep. Yes, that shit is so cool. Home of the Silverbacks. And are we gonna have pride?
Oh,
you're not gonna put this uniform on. Two things. We have to have the highest GPA of the state, of the team. Those are our goals. We're going to be committed to that, right? And the best what? Team in the state.
Yeah.
Okay. If your kid is in a what? Silverback and doesn't do what it takes.
They're going to be elite. And if they can't cut it, they're going to go.
They can sit in the stands. Sit in the stands. Yeah, we got other things. They're gonna do music.
We gotta have another school so those kids can in this day and age.
Well, there'll be plenty of programs for themselves. We have plenty of stuff for those kids. We're just telling the parents that these teams are for Silverbacks, and these ain't the teams that everybody gets a trophy. We don't do that in Silverdale.
All right, so we got other schools for that.
When we go lace them up in Highland Park, we're going to be telling our kids to do what?
Decimate. Control from beginning to end. And there's no question who.
The pinky officiating would not be able to do anything. And if they did, we would have film that is so egregious, right? Yeah.
And we're going to deal and look back to our ancestors and know what they dealt with and overcome just like we have done. So,
man, the more I look back at what they was doing, Self, and the lies, people was telling, you know what I'm saying, Self? There was times, boy, like they like to tell us that Pinky was coming through and we was just victims. Bro, they was putting the kids in the basements with shotguns and everybody was like, we finna die tonight. And that's why Pinky stopped riding through the neighborhood like that. And that's why people started sticking to their own damn fucking neighborhoods. I'm telling you, bro, that's what the fuck happened. And it's not in the history. Silverbacks like you and I were putting the kids and the women in the basement and had shotguns and was telling those motherfuckers, yes.
Yeah. Especially when they was riding down on so-and-so's house. Everybody was there.
If we're gonna die, we all gonna die tonight, right? You ain't
they can't come around here with this
crapulous
behavior.
Yeah.
Out there. No.
Yeah. So now they made it where the police can come to the neighborhood with that same crapulous behavior, and we're gonna put a stop to that in Silverdale.
Man, that's for sure. That's why I was like thinking all the time unincorporated areas, so they don't have that in effect already. So we'd have to defund it. We could make some from the base, create what we want to have as that.
I would love that, and we can easily probably find something around that train. I'm sure there's something that's around there that's unincorporated. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just, the reason I look at Riverdale is that it's, I don't want to call it a shit city, but you know what I mean, comparatively. That's what the white people, either way it works. But it just shows that, look, Democrats and Republicans and all you fuckers, looks what's happened in 15 years. Boy, that high school, boy, home of the Silverbacks, I promise you. The best mannered kids. It's going to be like a Duke University for black kids. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Educated, smart, upwardly mobile, but they will do what, Self, when they lace them up?
Savage. They're gonna win. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna be extremely effective. They're gonna think about what's going on and analyze.
Facts.
And be very well coached.
Facts. And be treated like professional athletes, how they break down game film, and they're going to have the same accountability levels and treat them like professional, like you call them, little people.
Yes.
They're not going to be treated like student athletes.
Or kids.
Right.
Our little people are children at least.
They're little guys. They're little guys.
Little people is, that's what they are.
Little gods in my eyes. Once we need to start seeing the God in self and the God in each other. And if we see the God in self and we see those little people as little gods, then now when we start educating them that, no, I'm a God and you're a little God. And then now they're not going to talk to me in a certain way. And guess what? Because they're not talking to me in a certain way and vice versa, I'm not going to talk. Yeah, it's a little God. Why are you talking to that little God like that? Who are you?
Especially when, they are fresh from the creator and possess and hold a lot of memories from prior incarnations.
Yeah.
And can tell you some real gems if you always shut up, don't shut up, you know what I mean? Like you miss out on a whole
They could
lot.
draw up a play. They could draw up a play that you would have never thought of. If a wrinkle to a play, and you'll win a ball game if you just would have let them finish what they were going to say.
Just talking about completely in life. When they come here, you're fresh off the boat, and you still got some memories of the boat that this matrix that we in tries to beat out of you. Some people hold on to them, and keep some information, but this matrix we in, boy.
Well, it's a good point. They're upgrades.
Beat you down out the out.
Yes. But we're telling the upgrades to shut up.
Yes.
Right.
Especially early on when we should be listening.
Well, then we wonder why they don't listen once they get older.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Why would I listen to you if you don't what?
Listen to me.
Right.
Tell me to shut up every time I'm
creating. Yeah.
I'm just blessed that didn't happen to me. You know what I mean? When I was a young guy.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to hear what I had to say. Like I was E.F. Hutton.
E.F. Hutton. Yeah. E.F. Hutton speaks. Yeah, people listen.
That's how they just treat me, man, as a little guy. Like adults coming to have a conversation with me. Like I used to trip out at that. Like, why are they coming to talk to me? Like, pull me from my friends to talk to them. Like,
yeah, man. I mean, that's the spirit, bro.
Yeah.
That's the spirit, bro.
I ain't gonna complain, you know what I mean? My life has been a blessing, that's for sure.
I mean, you think of how many little kids are brilliant. I mean, how many little people are brilliant, right? And so how many of them are just not being heard, not being allowed,
shut down?
Like that random video the algorithm sent us.
Yeah.
When dude was talking about all the crap he was doing as a kid, we criminalize those kids and they give them drugs and say they got ADD and this kid needs to settle down and he's going to kill somebody. We pump fear in those kids and he's a pyro and we criminalize and we sit there and let W.S. Baphomet run all that shit down our throat. We just sit there. Yeah. Telling you about your kid, bro.
It's unfortunate because
how the fuck can you tell me about my kid with your science?
Can't tell me about mine. That's for sure.
No. Man, look at this guy. He's brilliant. You know how many other people would have been like that? Young white hacker, he's called a brilliant, computer kid at his age. A young black hacker is criminal.
Yeah, well, There was a certain guy, number 45. 45 is it 46? The last.
Well, 46 is jumping Joe Biden, I believe.
Oh, whatever before that. That guy was praised as a great businessman for not paying taxes.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Praised.
Yes.
For not
paying taxes. Had a history of not paying employees. When you don't pay workers, that's slavery. That's slavery, sir.
It is. It's
it's slavery.
Bankrupt the company so that he don't have to pay the company that did the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Did that to pink people. Did that to pink people.
Did it to everybody. He didn't discriminate.
Right. But the people he had working on his buildings, that was building it, those weren't black people. Those were mainly pink people. I've done the research. And, he did that to their union. Stiffed them all. The black people, we weren't building and have those jobs. He wouldn't rent to us once those buildings were built. You know what I mean? He wouldn't even hire us to do that. Right. If he looks back on it all, he probably say, yeah, we should have hired all black people. Should have hired all the blacks and Hispanics to build all our stuff and then stiff them. I bet you if that's what his son's going to do. Little Damien. I mean,
he stiffed his share of brown people.
Black contractors. I'm sure he did. Yeah. And you remember the sham school he started? He had a sham college.
He was.
Yeah, he had a sham college. Donald Trump University.
Trump University, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is something else, ain't
he? Hey. Small ups to the Trampster. I mean, one thing he's done, man, he brought all the roaches out of the holes and flushed out a lot of good conversation.
Yes, he did.
You know what I mean?
I mean, as morbid as it sounds, he was good for the situation. So some people could see what is actually out there. But for some people, it just drives them way more fear, and they just dug way deeper in.
Oh, they got more entrenched into the Democrats.
Yeah.
The Democrat security blanket. Yeah. Oh, man, they got their thumb in their mouth. They're hugging onto that blue blanket. Ain't they?
They're pacified right now. They're just not paying attention to what they're doing. So.
Bro, they asked a Democrat, they asked a black Democrat. They said, bro. They said, so he finally did. They said, your boy Biden finally did a press conference. And they said, right during the election, Biden promised that the first thing that was going to be addressed when he became president was the black issues. Him and Kamala Harris promised, you guys are stupid if you don't vote. Now, I'm just saying stuff. This was promised. That motherfucker got in office, was the longest standing president to not hold a press conference. Donald Trump held press conferences. They were bogus and lies and whatever, but he held press conferences. If Donald Trump had become president and went that long without even holding a press conference, the media would have been all over Donald Trump. Self Love and we've always been about consistency. That's what we're about. The toot. Self Love and I, the toot. Yeah, the toot. Right? The toot. Right? The toot. We're about the truth. Yes, balance. The balance. That's what the truth is. The truth is the balance. That is correct. Yes. So, if Donald Trump had not had this, so back to Biden. So Biden finally does do a press conference and, he doesn't bring up any black issues. Not at all. So these people are sucking a security blanket and saying things like, well, if you talk about black people, you'll never get anything done. What? That motherfucker didn't say that before the election. Y'all wasn't saying that before the election. What y'all said is we're going to hold these Democrats and everybody accountable. What? After we bend over and spread our butt cheeks and give away our vote. That's what y'all said.
Give him some time. After day one, he had presidential, orders for everything except for what concerned us. He's going to talk to you after he got elected. Now there's nothing. And
wait, and guess what I heard him say? He's praising the police again after that shooting. I think it was, where was it at? I think in Texas, and one cop got killed. Yeah, there was a mass shooting, Self, at a grocery store somewhere in the last day or two.
Man.
Denver, was it Colorado?
I think it's in Colorado.
Yeah.
So.
And so he came right out praising the police. That wasn't what got you elected. I'm not saying, I'm saying that, bro, you haven't come right out and, address any of the defund 12 issues that people are talking about. You haven't done anything. And the only thing I heard you do was come out and start praising the police and getting back to bigotry as usual. That's the only thing.
That's what is
agenda is, and Kamala's too.
That's what it's gonna be.
Correct.
Their history. If we don't, that's
and
what
that's what we were saying, Self. That's why you and I were so frustrated in these political discussions with other people.
Yeah.
Because history has shown
that
what they are.
Just, liars. They get in, and with everything they said to get in, or prior to them getting in. I don't even want to say to get in. Prior to them getting in is ridiculous.
Bro, you could take any player, and I know this from analyzing sports, and if this guy is a 10% three-point shooter, you would not devise a game plan where you say, in this game, Self Love's going to hit 33s. If you were that 10% three-point shooter.
Hey, bro, I don't know what's going on, but it looked like it's some fruit or something on the YouTube.
Huh? Some fruit.
I don't know what that is. It ain't even. Oh, maybe it's on my computer. Never mind. It ain't on the actual YouTube. Don't worry about it. I'm monitoring on my computer, and I must have hit something on there because I got my phone and I looked on the real thing, and it's not out there.
Hey, but before we wrap up, I finally got this book, Self. You've been telling me about, and Brother Kramer. Totally suggest. Oh my goodness.
Yes. It's a great piece of work right there. Man.
So we're doing a panel, Brother Pullen, when we get the authors on. DJ Big Wheel, I got to read his book, 100,001 Ways for the Black Man to Be Angry to Justify Why We're Pissed, Traumatized in America. That book